Hello and welcome to Richmond, Virginia City Stadium for the Richmond Kickers versus Charlotte Independence in the USL Eastern Conference. Teams are lining up ready for the national anthem. We are ready for the game. I'm Darryl Grove. With me is Taylor Rockwell. Hello.
Hey, buddy. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. We are ready to see the Kickers versus Charlotte Independence. Frank Tayu, who scored the equaliser for the Kickers late last week against Tampa Bay Rounders, not starting today.
Not starting today. Is on the bench. We expect we'll probably be seeing him sometime in the second half, if I were to take a guess.
So the man starting up front is number 11, Anthony Grant. The pressure is on him today because he's got Frank Tayu snapping at his heels.
Let's keep talking about some other players, though. Let's move over to Charlotte, shall we? I think their key player for the day, Jorge Herrera. We know he's got that attacking ability. We know he's got that goal-scoring ability, combining with Enzo Martinez. They're the top scorers for Charlotte this season.
So Herrera, Colombian, 36, only 5'9", which is odd for sort of a target striker or a lone striker. You're going to see him buzzing backwards and forwards, coming and getting some touches.
Buzzing is the key word there. Yeah, really causes problems for defense, putting them under pressure, keeping them under pressure, and then obviously putting the ball in the back of the net as well.
For the Richmond Kickers, Milan Roberts will be at centre-back, number 15, winning balls in the air. He had the assist on that Frank Tayu goal last week.
He absolutely did. You and I had a conversation about whether or not he was aiming for Tayu or if he was just trying to head the ball down. I've watched it a few times. I'm very much inclined to believe he is aiming for Tayu there, trying to put that directional header there, and that's exactly what he can do, both on offense and on defense. He's going to win those aerial challenges. And
Milan Roberts is going to be joined by Connor Shinosky and William Yombi. There's a lot of aerial presence for those Richmond Kickers, but up against the 5'9" Jorge Herrera.
Indeed.
So balls in the air, Kickers are going to win. I suspect Charlotte Independence won't be playing balls in the air.
And we suspect the Kickers will be playing a back three and sort of a modified 3-4-2-1 is the guess there.
Kickers are not on a great run of form, right? Haven't won a USL game in 9 matches, 10 matches without a win if you include the US Open Cup. Does today's lineup give you much confidence?
A little bit more confidence, especially with that back three. It gives you a little bit more of that wing-back play. We think it's going to be Matt Turner in goal. It'll be Roberts, Shinosky, and Yombi as your back three and your center backs, with Troyer and Gonzalez as your wing backs. Durkin and Uday Omura in the middle there, as you can see on your screen.
I like that combo.
Luis Fernando and Sonny Jane as your more attacking players, with Anthony Grant up top. It could end up being this 4-2-3-1. It might be a back three. We shall see at kickoff.
We shall see, yeah, and keep an eye on Anthony Grant because he's going to be watching for Frank Tayu coming off the bench.
Absolutely.
Charlotte Independence, how are they lining up, Taylor?
We've got Cody Mazzell in goal, Joel Johnson, Henry Kalungi.
Former Richmond Kicker.
There he is. Bilal Duquette, Austin Yearwood are your back four. In the midfield, we're expecting it to be Alex Martinez and June Marquez Davidson. It might be Callum Ross sitting deeper there, with more so Alex Martinez, Enzo Martinez, and David Estrada as your front three, and Jorge Herrera up top.
Yeah, Jorge Herrera should be the centre forward.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be ready for kickoff.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
How can an elephant go undercover to ensure great customer service? Well, it goes a little something like this. I carefully prepare my disguise.
Yes, ma'am. We've got a tow truck on the way to you right now.
I approach with the utmost subtlety.
Absolutely.
I observe undetected
Repairs include a lifetime guarantee.
and slip away without a trace.
What?
When my customers are happy, I'm happy. And when I'm happy,
More care, less cost. Discover the elephant difference at elephant.com. At CBS 6 News, we aren't confined by four walls. Our office is out here in our community. CBS 6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome back to City Stadium. We are underway. Kickoff has happened. You are seeing the Richmond Kickers in red going left to right. Charlotte Independence in white going right to left.
And from the kickoff, we can see it is going to be more of a back four for the Kickers. It looks like Milan Roberts is going to be out on the right as the right back, with Connor Shinovsky and William Yambi as your two center backs.
So keep an eye on number 15, Milan Roberts. This is new for him. He's usually a centre back. He's going to be up against Alex Martinez, who's been in the goals recently. So it's going to be a good test for Roberts. And here he is, Milan Roberts on the ball. Under pressure immediately. We expect Charlotte to put that Kickers defense under pressure when they have the ball.
I think when the Kickers have the ball, especially when they've forced the Kickers back, Charlotte have forced them back, you're going to see a little bit more pressure in those front three, those front four.
Here's Kalungi with the ball for Charlotte Independence. He squares it to Duckett. Duckett takes a touch, gives it back to Kalungi. What we've seen of Charlotte, they sort of build up quite slowly. Kalungi trying to play through midfield there. It's picked off. Luis Fernando intercepts. Here he is. Luis Fernando to Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant lays it back to Braden Troyer. Troyer to Yudai Imura. Imura goes direct into the box. Raul Gonzalez can't get to it. Ball is headed away. It's collected by Alex Martinez. Martinez with a step over, a rollover. Now Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes back. Roberts goes back to Shinovsky. Shinovsky under pressure. To Roberts, all the way back to Yambi, wearing the armband. Yambi chips it forward into the channel, out of bounds. It's going to be a Charlotte throw-in.
A wave of acceptance there from William Yambi, obviously looking to put that ball in the channel for Gonzalez, instead put it out of play.
Here's Ross. We expect to see Ross, number 5, see a lot of the ball today for Charlotte. Ball played into midfield. Herrera plays it on, out wide right. Here's Johnson, the overlapping fullback. Johnson gets wide, crosses, little too high for Martinez. Kickers are appealing, I think, for a handball, but here's the other Martinez now with the ball. Cuts it back. Cleared by the Kickers. Chris Durkin gets it away awkwardly, but gets it away. That's the important part for the Richmond Kickers.
Definitely looked like a cheeky little handball there from my vantage point, but the referee said play on. Not sure if he missed it or if just thought the Kickers might have had the advantage.
Johnson tried to play down the line, but offside is called.
Early pace down that right side from Johnson. You see the problems he's going to cause for the Kickers. He is a fullback, but he's very much an attacking fullback.
Yeah. He's definitely more of an attacker than a defender.
I would say so.
It's interesting if you're the Kickers. Is that something you're worried about or something you try and exploit?
Personally, I'd say it's something I'm worried about because we've seen Luis Fernando doesn't necessarily do that defensive work as much as is in there for the offensive flair. So whether or not he's going to be tracking Johnson or if he's going to be trying to stay forward, it might lead to some overloads on that right-hand side.
Here's Durkin in midfield. Nice diagonal ball, looking to put Fernando away down the left. Here is Luis Fernando up against Johnson. A couple of moves from Fernando. More moves from Fernando. Still has the ball, cuts back, lays it back to Braden Troyer. Good work from Luis Fernando. Troyer into Yudai Imura. Imura gives it him back. Braden Troyer turns down the line. Luis Fernando again. Good step from Durkin and another good step from Yambi. We have a nice physical game so far today.
We certainly do. Yambi there calling for the ball. Thought maybe it made a deflection, but it will be the throw-in for Charlotte, who now advance the ball into Kickers' half.
Here's Enzo Martinez trying to get through. Couldn't. Yambi clears. Yambi goes long. Anthony Grant chases. Duckett gets there first. Sonny Jane picks it up, puts it back into the path of Gonzalez, gets it back. Here's Sonny Jane. Sonny Jane, he's got help from Milan Roberts. Here we'll see, can Milan Roberts cross a ball? Instead he goes back to Chris Durkin. That may be a feature. Milan Roberts will not be doing the Joel Johnson stuff. Ball through to Grant. Grant tries to get a shot away, only finds Mizell, the keeper.
Absolutely beautiful through ball there from Chris Durkin. Dropped into the supporting holding midfield role, found that through ball into the feet of Anthony Grant, but Grant couldn't make contact, and instead going to be a throw-in for the Kickers.
And I feel bad putting pressure on him, but he is under pressure today. He's got to take those chances because Frank Tayo will be warming up on the sideline at some point.
And maybe rubbing his hands together.
Milan Roberts to Sonny Jane. Jane escapes a bit of pressure, gives it to Roberts, gets it back. Kickers moving the ball nice and quickly so far. Jane, cross-field pass, finds Braden Troyer, the left back. Here goes Troyer. Troyer bringing it forward, slowly but surely. Gives it to Fernando. Luis Fernando, back to Braden Troyer. Troyer back to William Yambi. Kickers possessing the ball. Back to Matt Turner. Shinovsky takes it off of Turner. Here's Connor Shinovsky. Shinovsky goes long, over the top. Grant to chase.
Looks like the Kickers have identified an issue with the Charlotte defense so far. Seems like Henry Kalungi very much trying to press that back four up. The rest of the back four slow to step, so we're routinely seeing Kalungi about 5 yards ahead, and that's leaving some space in behind for the Kickers to run onto. We'll see if they tighten that one up, Charlotte, or if the Kickers continue to look for that long ball as a result.
I mean, they're 50-50 on those sort of direct overballs. Is probably not the correct technical term,
but that's what we call them.
That's what it is, right? You drop it over the back of the defense.
It's not quite a long ball, but not quite a through ball.
Yeah.
It's a direct over ball.
Mizel's got to kick it out of bounds. Troyer takes the throw. Grant takes on the chest. Can't quite hold it though. Charlotte come away with it. Enzo Martinez couldn't maintain it. Udaimura has it. Gives it to Braden Troyer. Gets it back. Udaimura has it. Went down. He got back up again. Kickers still have the ball. Troyer to Durkin to Troyer. Troyer, great crossfield ball to Milan Roberts. Really good work from Braden Troyer there. Now Roberts takes it forward. Roberts splits the defense but hits it too long for Jane.
Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Mizel goes long. Flicked on for Herrera. Yombi is across and wins it. One thing I'll say, Taylor, is the more that kickers can force Charlotte Independence into long balls, the more successful they'll be.
Absolutely, because you have that pace and that creativity and that technical ability if you're Charlotte in the middle, so the kickers want to force those long balls because obviously they're going to back themselves to win those aerial challenges.
Technique and creativity is no good if the ball's in the air.
This is true.
Jane takes it, trying to put Fernando through, almost makes it. Percentage-wise, it's not great now. It's like 1 for 4, but it always looks likely.
There's routinely a player in and seems to be routinely goal side of their man for the Richmond Kickers.
Martinez goes down the line looking for Estrada. Kickers have it back. Now Charlotte have it back. Martinez trying to keep it in. It's going to be a Charlotte throw-in. Taken quickly, collected by Ross. Ross plays it forward. Yombi lets it roll through. Matt Turner picks it up. Looks like Matt Turner's going to kick long. It hooks right a little. Gonzalez bitten in the air. Martinez goes back to Duckett. I think he meant Duckett. It went back to Mizel in the end.
It's an interesting sequence there for the Richmond Kickers in the sense that there wasn't a sequence. It was Matt Turner holding the ball, then waiting for all the kickers to get in the exact right position before he played that ball long. Maybe it seems like they've identified that they want to pin Charlotte back a little bit with those long balls straight off the goal kicks or the punts.
Davidson's been forced back under two-man pressure from the kickers, gets it out to Martinez. Martinez to his brother, Enzo Martinez. Tackled by Chris Durkin. Durkin leaves the ball. Here comes Luis Fernando, looking for a pass. He held on and put it out right to Milan Roberts. Milan Roberts brings it forward slowly. You can tell he's not confident enough to dribble down that line. He does find the feet of Chris Durkin. Durkin gives it him back.
It's interesting. It's curious to see if it's a lack of confidence or it's maybe he's been told, you stay back, lock down that defense, we'll let Gonzalez do all the running.
Well, it's very much sort of stick to what you know, right?
Yeah.
There's no point Milan Roberts trying to be Danny Alves.
Yeah. I think Danny Alves has pretty much got that market cornered.
Here comes Jane. Jane puts it left for Luis Fernando, who looks up, crosses, ball into the box. Gonzalez takes on the chest. Grant turns. Grant misses as he tries to shoot. He created the opportunity for himself, but could not connect as he turned.
Good physical hold-up play there from Grant and awareness to spot that there was an opportunity. Did well to turn, but couldn't finish. Scuffs that opportunity again, and Scuffs might be putting it generously there.
I think we're going to get one more look at this Anthony Grant opportunity.
Good ball in there from Luis Fernando. Just a little bit of chaos in the box. Again, Grant does well to body off the defender, but can't make contact.
And here comes Enzo Martinez. Gives it to Herrera. Herrera tackled by Braden Troyer. Kickers come away. The counter may be on here. Here goes Luis Fernando. Herrera chasing all the way back to do some defensive work. That's how you get to be a 36-year-old pro. Even won the throw-in. Now Johnson gives it to Davidson. To Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez turns. Looking for a pass. Slowing it down. No pressure from the kickers. Some good quick passing from Charlotte. They can't find their way through this kickers midfield. Davidson's sitting in the back here, looking like he's going to help distribute. Here comes Henry Kalungi, ex-Richmond kicker, into the feet of Alex Martinez. Turns around, chipped pass over the top, looking for Estrada. Turner's off his line, collects it right at the edge.
Yeah, that's interesting, Darryl. You spotted something there. It seems like Yearwood pushing forward, allowing Alex Martinez to come inside and try to create some overloads through the middle. Kalungi pulling wide. That means you've got a gap in the middle, and that's why you have Davidson dropping in.
Shinovsky goes long. Duckett with a beautiful touch to take that down. And a not so beautiful clearance, but it was a beautiful touch to take that down.
You can't take that away from him.
Milan Roberts looking for a throw. Goes down the line, looking for Anthony Grant. Grant under some pressure, still has it though. Kalungi plays it out of bounds. Raul Gonzalez comes across the take. Quick throw taken to Milan Roberts. Roberts goes short to Chris Durkin, U17 international. Roberts goes back to Shinosky. And Shinosky goes back to Turner. Durkin takes possession, gives it to Shinosky. Shinosky looks down the line. Finds Roberts, gets it back. Now Durkin goes long over the top. It's a little too long, a little too direct. You can see the idea though.
I think it was like 80% looking for that ball and maybe 20% not trying to mess around with the ball in the back. It was good pressure there from Charlotte. I think Durkin just wanted to get rid, make sure they didn't get caught in possession and lead to a breakaway there.
Mizell on the ball. Under pressure from Jane. Goes out left. Henry Kalungi has it. Plays it low into Martinez. Nice turn from Alex Martinez. Gives it to Enzo Martinez. Martinez collects. Plays it second time, outside of the foot to the advancing Joel Johnson. Johnson goes down the line to Estrada. Estrada takes a touch. He's up against William Yumby. Yumby jockeying him. Johnson takes it back. Now Estrada, back heel to Johnson. Now Enzo Martinez. Into Ross, gets it back to Davidson. Charlotte also moving the ball nice and quickly. Some good crisp passing there.
Some really good aggressive fullback play, both the fullbacks getting forward in that sequence. I think Yearwood was actually one of the furthest forward for Charlotte, and I think it is going to cause some problems for the kickers because you have to pay attention to them, so you stay a little bit stretched. You can't really shut down anything out wide as a result.
Two overlapping fullbacks for Charlotte. Here's Kalungi again, seeing a lot of the ball. Gives it to Davidson. Into Alex Martinez. Martinez, nice ball into Herrera, but Yumby gets his head to it. Referee calls a foul.
Looks like Yumby does win that ball, but in those situations, I think the referee's looking for him to go straight up in the air, maybe not straight through the back of Herrera, and that's why you've got the free kick. Replay of that challenge here. You can just see Yumby wins the ball, but goes right through the back. That is probably always going to be a free kick, especially with the referee about 5 yards away.
Now here's Johnson, comes inside to Estrada. Estrada, the ball to Johnson. It looks like Luis Fernando just got a toe in. Maybe you heard what you said, Tyler, about not tracking back.
Yeah,
He's decided to do it.
I'm watching him on that far side. Thus far, he's done a good job of tracking back. Not always sticking right with Joel Johnson, but always doing a good job to be that supporting defender, that second or even third defender. So far, good work from Luis Fernando defensively.
So it looks like it's going to be Jorge Herrera to take the corner kicks for Charlotte Independence.
Unless Alex Martinez has his way. Alex Martinez seems to be jogging across. Not sure if that's to pull a player over for the short corner. That's what it looks to be.
Big guys are in the box though. Centre backs are forward for Charlotte. Ball swings in. Yumby gets ahead to it. Another corner kick. Jorge Herrera's going to get a second chance at this.
Kickers have all 10 players in the box except for one, Gonzalez, who is standing at the top of the box. So it'll be interesting to see how they break, if they're able to get possession, or if it's just basically going to be clearing it right back to Charlotte.
Second corner kick from Jorge Herrera. My guess would be a very similar kick, aiming for Kalungi. There it goes, headed out by Anthony Grant. Raul Gonzalez comes away with it. Raul Gonzalez accelerates away from Enzo Martinez. Raul Gonzalez is on the move. Raul Gonzalez up against Davidson, squares it. Jane lays it off for Grant. Grant takes possession. Grant shoots from distance. It was on target, but didn't have a lot of power behind it. Easily collected by Mizell.
Really good break there from Raul Gonzalez. Takes on the defense. I think was looking for Udai Amura out wide, but instead didn't quite put enough pace on that ball. Couldn't get through. Anthony Grant does well to get a shot off, but puts it right into the goalkeeper's hands.
Joel Johnson could not keep that in. It's going to be a Richmond kickers throw-in. One more look at the shot from Anthony Grant. Worth a go, I'm going to say. Ball over the top here is almost Raul Gonzalez, but he is ruled offside. Excuse me, you were saying?
Oh, just that it was once again another long ball over the top. It did seem like Raul Gonzalez is trying to hang on that last man as much as he can. So nothing too important, I guess.
Kika's not caught offside too many times today.
Always a positive. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Here's Alex Martinez in midfield for Charlotte. Clipped ball out right. Joel Johnson takes it. Johnson was looking for Estrada. Yudaimura has it. Yudaimura to Sonny Jane. Nice turn. Jane lays it off to Chris Durkin. Durkin in midfield now. Durkin goes long and wide to Yudaimura, who collects it. He's up against Joel Johnson here. Here comes Yudaimura. He's got Luis Fernando with him. Comes inside instead. Still Imura gives it back to Durkin. Durkin shoots from distance. It's a little over. Not too bad.
Looked like he had picked his spot, hit that with the instep, maybe trying to bend that one into the far corner. Just hits a little bit too much on it, goes over the bar. But nice work from Chris Durkin. We'll get a replay of that shot here. Interesting, Daryl. I think he is the defensive midfielder sitting the deepest. But we saw on that goal for Frank Teu last week, came off the header from Milan Roberts, but that ball came from Chris Durkin.
Yeah.
So far tonight, he's looked for 4 or 5 of those long balls and has been relatively successful. Makes me wonder if maybe the kickers have identified him as that deep-lying ball-playing midfielder, and that's why we're seeing him kind of command the midfield right now.
He's looking very confident today as well. I've seen him several times this season, and sometimes he looks like a 17-year-old who's a little overawed. Sometimes he looks like a man ready to take control of a game, and today it's the latter.
Although I think in that situation he got a little bit of help winning that 50-50 challenge. Yambi came through and just reminded everyone that he is good in the air.
I think Durkin gave Yambi the assist on the jump. Here's Kalungi. Goes back to Duckett.
It's a risky strategy to give the foothold and allow the player to, step in it and get a little bit more clearance.
Davidson, short to Alex Martinez, gets it back. Davidson back to Martinez. Martinez lets it roll across him, goes right to Duckett, who goes into the feet of Enzo Martinez, drops it to Alex Martinez. Charlotte doing well, exchanging passes, but not making much forward progress. Here's Herrera, who's come deep and is dispossessed. Alex Martinez gets it back. Here he comes. Slips a pass into Enzo Martinez, shoots, hits William Yambi, goes out for another corner kick.
That play develops because Anthony Grant tried to chest that ball back, not quite enough on it, maybe didn't have the support he thought he did, leads to the turnover, leads to that shot. Kickers need to get a little bit more support there for Anthony Grant, I think, or Grant needs to maybe get a better touch on the ball there.
Martinez saw an opportunity, but Yambi stood in his way. It's going to be Herrera one more time with the corner kick. Referee has a close eye on the pushing and pulling in the area. Ball is served in. I think Estrada got to it. Jane clears. It's going to bounce all the way through to Davidson. Davidson collects it for Charlotte.
So far with every Charlotte corner that we've seen Luis Fernando stepping about as close as he possibly can to the corner kick as it's taken. Makes me wonder if maybe the kickers have also spotted that Charlotte are aiming for that near post. That was what they were doing early. Now they're hitting it right to like the middle near post and have had a little bit more success.
Good prep from the kickers. It's Enzo Martinez to Davidson. Jun Marquez Davidson gives it to Alex Martinez. Finds out left. Yearwood up against Milan Roberts. Cuts back inside. Cross long to the back post for Estrada. Estrada gets a touch, puts it out of bounds. It's going to be a Richmond kickers goal kick.
I'm not sure how much Estrada knew about that touch. Turned, maybe lost it a little bit in the air, maybe lost it because Braden Troyer had him defensively, but it goes off of Estrada's back and out for a goal kick for the kickers.
Okay, but that's still factually correct, right? Gets a touch.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct.
Matt Cerner to take this goal kick for the Richmond kickers. He goes long to the middle. Grant to challenge. Loses out. Martinez heads it on. Durkin collects. Backheels it, but it's collected by Davidson.
That was a Daryl Grove backheel right there.
You mean unsuccessful? Jane fought for the ball, but fought too hard. It's going to be a Charlotte free kick.
Looks like maybe the referee got that one wrong, or maybe he's just calling. Yeah, for a second I thought maybe he thought he got it wrong and was changing the direction. It does seem like maybe he had a word with Sonny Jane, who was none too pleased by that decision. It did look like he got a bit of a shove as he tried to play that ball. We'll get a replay here of what exactly happened.
I felt like maybe Jane was a bit handsy. Maybe he just pulled the shoulder back a bit.
Either way, Jane ends up on the ground, and I think maybe thought he would get the free kick. Lee Cowlishaw definitely agreed. Up off the bench, having some words with that official.
Davidson collects the free kick. Goes back to Ross. Ross short into Enzo Martinez. Goes back to Davidson. Charlotte will pass and pass and pass. Try and wait for an opening. Alex Martinez just gave Durkin the old fake and turn. Durkin caught up with him. Then Martinez into Ross. Ross finds Enzo Martinez. Enzo Martinez down the line for Joel Johnson. Space to cross. Crosses it in. Shinosky heads it out. Ross volleys it back in. Raul Gonzalez clears. It's going to be Anthony Grant to challenge. I think he got ahead to it there. He's going to go for the second ball. Kalungi stepped out with it. Now Davidson.
From the yelling I could hear from the bench there, which again is about 80, 100 yards away, seems like Anthony Grant has been tasked with really trying to push forward and keep that Charlotte defense pinned back a little bit more. He is dropping back and is almost another midfielder. I think Lee Calishaw not too pleased with that.
Johnson down the line. Udai Imura was there. Sorry, I was distracted. You were saying that Anthony Grant is not doing that enough?
It's basically, it seems like he's dropping too far in and isn't giving the kickers an outlet. So just then when Gonzalez, Gonzalez went to clear it there, he has nobody up top, so you end up giving it right back to Charlotte.
Herrera tackled by Udai Imura. Now Imura clears. Jane on the line. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Yeah, from what I've seen of Anthony Grant over the years, he's kind of sort of a very willing team player. So it's almost like it's not natural for him to not do the defensive work. Like it's not natural for him to be selfish and hang on the shoulder of a defender. Here goes Martinez, squares it. Yombi gets a touch under pressure. Yombi still has it. Yombi gives it to Luis Fernando. But Herrera immediately puts him under pressure. Still Luis Fernando. Plays it forward, Kalungi collects.
I do wonder, Daryl, though, if that is Anthony Grant maybe realizing that he probably should have had one, if not two goals so far, and maybe trying to make up for it by getting back, getting some touches on the ball, but as a result, he's taking himself out of the game and the kicker's game plan.
Good step from Yombi. I'm calling it, William Yombi is back, fully recovered from injury.
He definitely looks it so far.
This is former centre-back partner, Henry Kalungi. Gives it to Davidson, drag back to Kalungi.
You can see Chris Durkin there encouraging Anthony Grant to press forward.
Yeah. I mean, Durkin wants the outlet, right? He wants to play that ball over the top. Yearwood and Davidson exchanging passes.
He wants to get that MLS assist.
Now Kalungi with a big ball to the right, looking for Johnson. Troyer's going to challenge him. Troyer gets ahead to it. It's collected by Ross, who gives it back to Joel Johnson. Johnson into Estrada. It's a little too long. Durkin with a rollover. Gives it to Udai Imura. Udai Imura goes long. Looking for Raul Gonzalez. It's a little too long. Mizell was off his line with the header.
Definitely looked offside to me, but the AR pointed at a very specific player, so I think the AR spotted somebody who kept him on side there.
Do you see who he pointed at?
It looked like whoever was screaming at him. I think it might have been Bilal Duquette, might have been Henry Kalungi.
There's Jane to Chris Durkin. Durkin out left to Braden Troyer. Troyer down the line to Luis Fernando. And gets it back. Here's Braden Troyer. Yombi looking for the ball. Goes to Shinosky under pressure from Herrera. Herrera does not take a break. Till half-time, I guess. Turner goes long.
Even then, actually, he just stays in the locker room and runs laps.
Just hassles people. Yep.
Just knocks people's water out of their hands.
Here's Mizell, picks it up.
But we're giving Herrera a lot of credit there. He seems to be swapping back and forth with Enzo Martinez. Martinez in that situation putting him under pressure as well.
Shinosky's, yeah, I agree. Shinosky's header into midfield. Alex Martinez collects. Plays it into Enzo Martinez. He's got some space here. Martinez to Estrada. Played it too long. Turner's going to let this roll out and get himself a goal kick.
Estrada made a very nice run there. If Martinez could have played that one maybe one or two touches earlier, I think Estrada was in on goal. I think that's why you saw him look a little bit frustrated when that ball eventually came.
From what I've seen, that's kind of uncharacteristic as well. Enzo Martinez has hit some measured passes in the footage I've seen. But they only put the good passes in the highlights. Joel Johnson to take the throw.
Generally, that's the case. But have you ever seen the highlight video that intentionally tries to make Pele look like a bad player?
Yes.
I'm inclined to say, Daryl, this is a risky opinion. I'm going to say Pele pretty good at soccer. I'm going to stick with that one.
Oh, yeah, it's confirmed. Here's Davidson. To Estrada. Davidson back to Duckett. Bilal Duckett. No pressure from the kickers right now. Kalungi brings it forward. Really nice touch from Alex Martinez. He gets it back and plays a nice ball out left for Yearwood. Good stuff from Charlotte. Here's Yearwood up against Roberts. Crosses low. Troyer got a touch to it. Enzo Martinez shoots wide. That was a great opportunity for Charlotte.
It was a great opportunity shooting there. It was a great also opportunity to find Herrera in the middle. Herrera had gotten himself unmarked and I think tried to get a foot on that one, had a word afterwards. But in the end, it will be a goal kick for the Richmond Kickers. But a little bit of sloppy defending there. Braden Troyer can't get a clean touch, but that shot goes just wide, and I'm sure he will be very pleased to see that happen.
Big sigh of relief from Braden Troyer.
Charlotte doing a very good job of exploiting Richmond, particularly on the counter. It seems like they're able to push those fullbacks forward at just the right moment, because Raul Gonzalez moments before had done a good job of marking Yearwood. Yearwood able to find that space though, and really cause some problems. We'll see if the kickers can shut down that overlap.
Speaking of overlap, here comes Yearwood. Durkin cuts out that pass. Enzo Martinez collects. Gives it to Estrada. Estrada gives it to Johnson. Johnson looking for a pass. Low ball into Estrada. Tackled by Yambi, cleared acrobatically by Luis Fernando. It seems that Charlotte really do have that little bit of imagination to open up the kickers. It's just one Alex or Enzo Martinez turn or flick away from carving open the kickers' defense.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Charlotte have the kickers on the ropes, but I'm going to say them that they've got them in the general vicinity of the ropes.
They're slowly backing towards them.
Indeed, and you're seeing the little runs, the little combinations are really starting to cause some problems in that situation. Enzo Martinez held his run, then went. Yambi went with him. That's why you had the space in the middle that Charlotte was then able to occupy. So the kickers, again, struggling a little bit with the movement and ability of Charlotte.
Ball is out for a Charlotte throw-in. Joel Johnson takes it quickly to Enzo Martinez. Nice outside of the foot pass. It's a little long. Luis Fernando with some excellent defensive work.
Thought about putting it out for the throw-in. I think realized that maybe he could let it roll out for a goal kick.
He also faked the body up. He did the fake, put it out for a throw-in, bought himself enough time to let it roll across him and then shepherd it out.
He did. Maybe Lee Kalishaw will like that, but it doesn't seem like he likes what he has seen in this first half so far of the kickers. The entire bench now warming up.
Well, let's talk Frank Tayu, because people may not be aware, the Richmond Kickers recently signed a striker, Frank Tayu, who's a US national futsal player. He played half a season of USL for San Antonio, but he's mostly been an indoor player. Played, 25 minutes last week? Scored the equaliser in the 91st minute.
He did. It was a beautiful, I'm going to call it a flying volley. That's what I called it last week when I was doing the play-by-play. And yeah, really good technical player, very creative, and obviously very large, can also cause problems in the air.
As we talked about, the reason that Anthony Grant's under a bit of pressure is that Tayu, you would expect, is ready to make an impact. I'm going to guess because he hasn't played much 11 aside, he's been playing indoor. There's maybe a different fitness level that he's looking to get to.
I think so. I think that's why you don't see him starting, but I think that's why you might see him in the second half. Meanwhile, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL.
Here's Raul Gonzalez ready to take this free kick for the Richmond Kickers. I've become a big fan of Raul Gonzalez served in corner kicks and free kicks.
You kind of wish we were on screen right now, don't you?
Yeah, because
a lot of gesturing.
I was doing the bendy motion with my right hand. But you'll see, there it is. It's actually a little low. Kalungi got to it, but Chris Durkin collects it. They can't all be winners, right? Durkin goes to the byline, went down. Referee points to the 6-yard box for a goal kick.
Definitely some contact there, but I think it was shoulder to shoulder, and might have been that Chris Durkin recognized that he'd taken a bit of a heavy touch. Then a bit of contact there. Durkin tripped Bilal Duquette. I'm not sure if he meant to, but that's why we're having a word here.
Yeah, I think Johnson and Durkin kind of went shoulder to shoulder, and Johnson was just stronger.
I think he was stronger, but I really do think Durkin is at least clever enough to recognize that that second touch was a bit too much, was probably going to go out of bounds, so anticipates that contact and maybe goes down and has that protest. We'll get a replay here of that incident. Yeah, it looks like Durkin walking, Duquette ran into him, and then maybe Duquette thought it was intentional. The referee thought maybe it was intentional, hence why you had that stoppage to have a conversation.
Was Duquette fishing there?
Might have been.
Didn't catch him. It's Mizell to take the goal kick. Kick to the halfway line. Flick forward, Martinez takes down the thigh, under pressure, but he still has it. Enzo Martinez, and a nutmeg on Braden Troyer. Still Enzo Martinez. Goes down, plays it on the floor, wins the free kick. I think the ref was playing advantage for a little while.
Really good creative work there from Martinez. Draws that foul, goes down, referee gives him a moment to see if he can keep possession, but in the end it's a free kick taken quickly by Charlotte.
It's into Alex Martinez, who one-times it, back to Davidson. Out left to Henry Kalungi, brings it forward. Kalungi in low, looking for Herrera. Yuda Imura cuts it out, gives it to Jane. Loose pass from Jane. Alex Martinez from distance, just over the bar. Sloppy stuff from the kickers.
Sloppy from start to finish there. Yuda Imura underhit that ball to begin with. Then some bad passing for the kickers leads to that turnover. Kickers lucky there. That ball just over the bar, but a nice hit. Had it been on frame, might have caused problems. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Chris Durkin for the kickers. Milan Roberts back to Connor Shinosky. Shinosky drives it low and out left to Braden Troyer. Braden Troyer goes low, is cut out. Gets it back. Troy to Chris Durkin. Durkin looks around, gives it to Yuda Imura. Down the line to Jane. Jane to Durkin. Kicker's trying to re-establish some possession here. Here's Shinosky with a bit of space to advance into on the right. Shinosky goes right to Milan Roberts. Milan Roberts again. I think it's the farthest forward Milan Roberts has been.
In this game, we do see him occasionally push forward. That's why he was up there last week to have that assist. He is the player the kickers tend to send forward when they're trying to get a goal late.
Okay, in this game though, do you think Milan Roberts as a right back, will we see him get to the corner flag in this attacking corner?
No. I was trying to think of a situation. Even on a corner, I doubt he's the one drifting over there.
Here's Jane to Chris Durkin. Durkin into the feet of Fernando. First time flick to Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes a dribble. Gonzalez going diagonal. Cuts back. Really good block from Yearwood.
Will be a corner there for the kickers. Initially, I think Yearwood thought maybe he'd put it back off of Gonzalez. The referee says no. But good work from Yearwood to track Gonzalez there, making sure not to have any contact, making sure he doesn't give away a penalty there. Tracks that run, anticipates the cross, and does well to block it out.
You can see Gonzalez thought he'd opened up just enough space to get a low ball in.
Good work from Gonzalez there, who really did create something from nothing. It seemed like he had lost that ball.
Takes a nice corner kick. Durkin was flying into it. Kalungi slides, lunges, gets it out. Now Davidson low into Estrada. Davidson lifts it down the line. Enzo Martinez takes it. Back heel cut out by Yuda Imura, who keeps it in. Ball is still in play. Looks like Martinez was held back, and Charlotte are going to have a free kick. I saw Chris Durkin charging in here. He didn't quite get there. I think Duckett got a touch to it.
And a handful of Connor Shinosky's jersey as well.
Yombi stepped and beat Herrera to that ball. Anthony Grant lays it back to Milan Roberts. Now Durkin. Durkin out left to Braden Troyer. Nicely measured pass. Troyer down the line to Luis Fernando, who was involved in that move for Raul Gonzalez to get away earlier. Durkin under pressure from Herrera, goes back to Yombi. Gives it him back. Durkin with space to look up and find a pass. Goes to the feet of Grant. Grant goes back to Shinosky. Durkin demanding the ball. Again, he is 17, he's demanding the ball.
And drawing fouls there. Callum Ross tracks the youngster, thinks maybe he's gotten away from him, puts a little bit of contact in there. It's going to be a free kick, about 45 yards from goal, taken quickly by the kickers. Roberts now on the ball, is far forward, not quite as far forward as you pondered he might be.
Gonzalez into the feet of Fernando, lays it off to Yuda Imura. Yuda Imura with a couple of touches, back to Luis Fernando, shoots over. Kickers starting to make little half chances, third chances.
But I think, that's the key thing there, is not quite making them full chances. In that situation, it looked like Udai wanted to get that shot off, maybe had a bit of too heavy of a touch, lets it roll out for Luis Fernandez, and just puts it over there, Luis Fernando. Couldn't quite put it on target. Maybe should have taken the touch and tried to play that back across the middle.
Instead, it's a Mazel goal kick. There are about 10 minutes to go in the first half here at City Stadium. Mizel long and to the right. Yombi wins it in the air once again. Jane collects. Jane lifts it forward, looking for Grant, I think, but it's cut out by Yearwood and played down the line. A little too heavy, though.
Looks like the kickers have figured out a system here when it comes to goal kicks for Charlotte. You saw in that situation, Chris Durkin dropped in, was the center back. William Yambi pushed forward because I think they're anticipating he's going to be the one to win those balls, maybe not Chris Durkin.
I think it's because Mizel's goal kicks are coming a little short.
Yep.
And normally you expect the centre-backs to be challenging for those, but if they only reach midfield, you may as well send Yombi to midfield.
Meanwhile, there you saw why Milan Roberts is maybe a center back and not a right back. Gets caught in possession. Good work there from Martinez to put him under pressure, and now Charlotte get the ball back as a result.
Here's Duckett into Davidson. Davidson looking for a pass, has to settle for going back to Duckett.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Here's Ross. Ross out left to Yearwood. Yearwood advances. He has Alex Martinez to his left. He goes inside, I think, to make the space for that pass to Alex Martinez. Outside. Martinez in the box. Goes around Roberts. Chips it to the far post. Important header, I think, from Braden Troyer to redirect that because Joel Johnson was waiting. Luis Fernando got a toe in. And it's out for a goal kick. That was some risky but good defending from Luis Fernando.
Indeed, yeah. Good defensive work there from Johnson as well in terms of winning that ball back high up the field, then putting the kickers under pressure. Yeah, but Luis Fernando, I think, just enough to force Johnson into that heavy touch, and then Braden Troyer sees it out. Not great defending there from Milan Roberts, however.
Alex Martinez really got the beating of Milan Roberts there. That's going to sting if you're Milan Roberts.
And it just seems like that's like the third or fourth time in the last 10 or 15 minutes that we've seen the kickers be a little bit indecisive playing out of the back and being punished for it. We'll see if they maybe tighten up a little bit more or if Charlotte keep that pressure on.
Shinovsky plays it firmly into Luis Fernando. Luis Fernando holds it up, gives it to Durkin. Durkin to Jane, out left to Braden Troyer. Here's Jane again, Sonny Jane. Brings it forward. Finds Raul Gonzalez. Back to Jane. Troyer down the line. Luis Fernando turns. Rolls. Can't go around Joel Johnson. Nothing wrong with Joel Johnson's defending so far.
No, nothing at all. He's done very well to track the runs, make sure he stays with Luis Fernando, but then also make sure to get forward and win that ball when he can.
Duckett clears all the way to Sonny Jane. Trying to maintain possession under pressure. Durkin's header only as far as Alex Martinez. Here's Alex Martinez now. Into Enzo Martinez. Martinez goes down, no call from the ref. It's going to be a Charlotte throw. Enzo Martinez not complaining to the referee today. 2 weeks ago, he got 2 yellow cards, both for dissent, and was suspended for last week.
I'm going to say yet. Not complaining yet. See if the kickers give him reason to complain.
My guess is Coach Mike Jeffries will have had a word with him and said, less talking, more dribbling.
or maybe more succinctly, shh, 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 shh.
Ross plays it through to Enzo Martinez. Here he is. Enzo Martinez is in the box, up against Shinovsky, drives it low. Yombi misses, Roberts clears. Luis Fernando takes it. Luis Fernando looking for the pass. Gives it to Anthony Grant. Chris Durkin over the top. I think both kickers players are offside there. Yep, the flag goes up as Gonzalez receives it.
The forecast initially for this weekend was heavy rain all 3 days. Yeah. It hasn't rained very much, and I do wonder if maybe it's just holding up there the ball a little bit. That's the third time in this half we've seen Charlotte struggle with it, maybe lose it a little bit in that situation. Look at Martinez, maybe got the ball caught underneath his feet just because it's not moving as quickly as it might on a wetter field.
Oh, I see. I was missing that link.
Get that little skip when it's wet. Maybe the ball's sticking a little bit more.
I see. So dry fields here in Richmond.
Yep.
Martinez, nice ball down the line. Here's Yearwood. Yearwood crosses it in. Shinovsky got ahead to it. Only as far as Martinez. Enzo Martinez. Hasn't barely touched the ball but managed to maintain possession. Gives it to Alex Martinez. Back to Davidson. Slow build up here, back and forth. Here's Jorge Herrera, who's come deep to collect, and a one-time pass. Alex Martinez looking for his brother down the channel there, but kickers have it back. Uday Mura and Jane, nice exchange of passes. Anthony Grant collects. Lays it off for Raul Gonzalez, who leaves it for Milan Roberts. Milan Roberts switches the field, out left to Braden Troyer. Bit of space to work with here. Luis Fernando now up against Joel Johnson. Here goes Luis Fernando. 3 players converging on him. He tried the shot, way over.
We're seeing a frustrated Kickers head coach, Calishow, on that sideline. Got up, went back, threw the hands up in the air on that shot, but seemed more frustrated by the Kickers being, again, a bit hesitant to get that ball forward. He did not seem pleased that the ball went back to the center backs. I think he doesn't want to see the team caught in possession. I think he wants to make sure they get it to Charlotte's half as quickly as possible, then establish possession.
Yeah, because you're inviting Charlotte to then press you, and they're good at it, right? With Herrera, both Martinez's, they're very good at pressing.
5-2, 5-7. Those guys move immediately. Thank you.
Here's Duckett, gives it to Ross. Callum Ross brings it forward, goes left to Davidson. Davidson has popped up everywhere on this field.
I wonder if he's got a Fitbit on, just making sure he gets his steps in.
I'm pretty sure 90 minutes of soccer you'll get your steps in. Here's Ross to Estrada, who tried to one-time it out there, but Braden Troy collects. Anthony Grant, good touch and turn, and out left to Yudo Imura. Yudo Imura squares it to Durkin, who's immediately under pressure, plays a smart one-time ball to Braden Troy. Now Shinosky. Shinosky finds Gonzalez in a little bit of space. Here's Raul Gonzalez. Almost played it through for Anthony Grant. I think Kalungi just got a toe to that.
Looked to be on there, but Anthony Grant couldn't quite get to it. Kickers couldn't quite get to it, and Charlotte get the ball back.
Now here's Davidson, looking around. Exchanges passes with Enzo Martinez. Yearwood now. Down the line to Alex Martinez, up against Milan Roberts for the first time since he put him over. Now Milan Roberts puts Alex Martinez to the floor.
The referee had the whistle in the mouth. I think thought about it for a second, decided that was shoulder to shoulder, and let's play continue.
Jane to Luis Fernando. Luis Fernando. Joel Johnson came across. Good defensive work from Joel Johnson, but he plays the ball into the referee. Now Chris Durkin has it. Durkin shot from distance, took a deflection. Mizell stops it from going out for a corner kick.
I think the home fans here thought maybe that might have been an illegal play there. That's what they were calling for, so maybe a dangerous play from Joel Johnson there. Referee said no, much to the chagrin of the Kickers faithful.
I'm going to say it's good defensive work from Joel Johnson. It's good, desperate defensive work.
Yeah.
He sort of stayed calm in a tough situation.
I think also, importantly, didn't move at all, so when the ball hits him, it's not as though he had made an effort to block that opportunity.
Here's Enzo Martinez. Switches it to his brother, Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez up against Roberts again. Trying to go around him. Roberts not giving him the space this time. Martinez has to go back to Yearwood. Yearwood squares. Here's Ross to Enzo. Enzo tried to flick it over the head, but Jane got there. Enzo Martinez has it back. Enzo Martinez dribbles forward. Going to the right, into Herrera. Herrera leaves it, shot by Estrada, blocked. Herrera gets it back, Estrada goes through. There was a coming together, Estrada goes down, it's a penalty kick. Referee has pointed to the spot.
Kickers are going to feel hard done by there. It did look like Connor Shinosky maybe thought he was going shoulder to shoulder. I'm not sure if he saw that run through in time. That's why what was supposed to be a shoulder to shoulder ends up being maybe a shoulder in the back. And it will be Estrada down, and it will be a penalty. You can see here. It's a nice through ball there. Maybe a little bit of a tangle of legs, maybe a little bit of contact. But you don't get much complaint from Connor Shinosky with the center official.
That feels harsh to me. It's going to be Enzo Martinez to take. It is right at the end of the first half, more or less. It is 43 minutes and 30 seconds gone. This would send Charlotte into the break with a 1-0 lead.
I'm sure we'll get a replay of that one at halftime. What did you make of it, though, Daryl? Did you think it was a penalty?
It seemed like just two guys sort of physically did each other as the ball was coming in, and I kind of think Herrera just went down. But then it depends, did Shinosky give him enough reason to go down? That's what I'll be looking for on the replay. It's Martinez against Turner. He steps up, shoots low into the bottom left corner. It's 1-0 Charlotte Independence.
Really well taken goal there from Martinez. Picks his spot, doesn't hesitate, puts it low. Always going to be a difficult spot for the goalkeeper to get to, and it ends up in the back of the net, 1-0 to Charlotte.
Kickers faithful, not impressed. I think they're not happy about that penalty kick call.
Absolutely not. We will get another angle of that here in just a second, but first we got to make sure we get Charlotte celebrating. Here's one more look at this penalty kick, Taylor. I think the referee initially was going to let that one go, but maybe thought there was a tangle of feet there as well as that contact, and maybe that's why he gave that penalty. And then you see well dispatched there by Martinez.
1-0 Charlotte Independence.
Fans, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL.
Speaking of rising stars, Durkin plays it into Grant. Grant loses out. It's a Charlotte Independence throw-in. Yearwood calls Alex Martinez off it.
And referee calls everybody off at halftime here at City Stadium. Charlotte with the lead 1-0 over the Richmond Kickers.
Okay, so 1-0 Charlotte on that penalty kick. We can debate whether it was a penalty kick or not, but on the balance of play, do they deserve that lead?
I think so. I think Charlotte have looked the more threatening of the teams. The Kickers have definitely had their own chances. They haven't taken them. We've seen Anthony Grant scuff too. Charlotte, I think, have been a little bit more patient, a little more measured in their approach, and have consistently looked for those through balls and have relatively consistently found them.
Also a little more creative, like nice little passes and turns just to open up the Kickers' defence a couple of times. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back afterwards.
Hungry, pick up piping hot Papa John's pizzas, legendary Carytown.
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
CBS 6 This Morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
I'm gonna leave across the line, stand high, this moment in time, gonna push me aside, gonna hold on, stop believing this moment in time.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
At CBS 6 News, we aren't confined by four walls. Our office is out here in our community. CBS 6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome back to City Stadium. It is half-time. You'll see the Ball Kids sponsored by Saxon.
My Saxon shoes, the Ball Kids for today, giving you a wave there. They seem happy, but that was before the game started. Probably less so now, given that they are the Richmond Kickers' home Ball Kids for today. I think Richmond Kickers fans probably not so thrilled by the way that first half ended.
Yeah, so 1-0 to Charlotte. Yeah, like we said, Charlotte maybe had a little more creativity. Maybe a couple more clear-cut chances for Charlotte. They also have the goal. Here's some first-half highlights.
You do see that early handball there. The referee let play. The Kickers weren't too thrilled by that, but early signs from Charlotte of the craftiness that we've come to expect in this first half. The Kickers, for their part, at times have been pretty direct, as we see Anthony Grant here body that ball, but can't quite get a touch to it. That was the first of two chances that Anthony Grant had that he couldn't connect with. Kickers haven't been just as sharp in front of goal. We do see Anthony Grant get that shot on frame here, but not much power behind it from about 35 yards out.
You also saw Grant, I think early on, had a through ball he couldn't quite connect with. I'm already thinking about the kickers bringing on Frank Tayu, possibly.
And it did feel like as the half progressed, you could see there Braden Troyer not able to cleanly take that ball, and that is pretty rare for the kickers.
Okay, here's the biggest incident of the first half. It's the penalty kick. You'll see Shinosky and Herrera come together. Shinosky's hand is slightly on Herrera's shoulder.
Tough to see here. Let's see when
I'm sorry,
contact
it's Estrada.
occurs.
It's Estrada, not Herrera.
It does look, I think, at first I wasn't sure if Estrada was looking for it. On second viewing, I do think that Connor Shinosky, whether or not he means to, clips Estrada. I think Estrada's bringing that left foot across. So there is the shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and I think that's why Kickers fans will feel aggrieved, because in that incident, shoulder-to-shoulder, it's usually going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I think it was shoulder-to-shoulder combined with that little touch from Connor Shinosky leads to the penalty.
There's like a bit of contact up top and a bit of contact down below, and it's, Estrada goes down, so there's just enough for the referee to call it.
I think one person who will vehemently disagree is Kickers head coach Lee Calishaw. As we went to break there at the end of the first half, he came on the field, had some very strong words for the officiating crew. They waited until he got off the field, waited for security to walk with them. They do usually do that, but it seems like they're usually more inclined to get off the field faster. Maybe they didn't want to incur the wrath of Calishaw any longer.
Do you think the Richmond Kickers team will be incurring the wrath of head coach Lee Calishaw?
I do. I honestly do. He looked very frustrated with the way they were approaching at least the attacking side of the game. I do also think that they've looked a little bit sloppier than we've seen them look, especially as the game progressed. They looked confident early. They looked competent early. But as I mentioned there with that replay, Braden Troyer failing to clear. We've seen the Kickers not really be smart with the possession once they get it back at the top of the box, coughing up opportunities, maybe not transitioning the way he would have liked. I think he's probably going to let him know at halftime.
Do you think we'll see any changes for the second half?
It'll be interesting. We saw the Kickers entire bench warming up from about 20 minutes on, so we might see some changes, but maybe we can talk about that in just a couple minutes.
Okay, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be back on the other side.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Raise the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
CBS 6 This Morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
I'm gonna leave alone when I cross the line. Standing high above this moment in time. Gonna push through the shine. Gonna hold on tonight. 'Cause I believe in love. This moment in time. This moment in time.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.
Beautiful city of Richmond. We're at City Stadium where it is Richmond Kickers trailing the visiting Charlotte Independents 1-0 at half-time.
73 million in Mega Millions is what I'm seeing so far from that aerial shot. That's the important thing to take away from that aerial shot. For the Richmond Kickers, I think lots of important stuff to take away at the end of the first half, heading into the second half.
Maybe they could spend some of that money on a big new strike force. A lot of firepower for 73 million these days.
Well, they have Frank Teyu on the bench. We'll see if he makes an appearance. You asked me as we went into break if I thought maybe we'd see some changes. I don't think we will now, but I would have been surprised to see Teyu start this second half.
You think he'll come on at half-time, possibly?
I think we'll see him at some point in the second half. Maybe not right away to start. Maybe Lee Calishaw will give the team 5 or 10 minutes to figure things out.
That's what I think. Just based on, actually, we see the Kickers coming back on the field here. It looks like the same 11 that left the field at the end of the first half. Last week, Frank Teyu, who you can tell I'm kind of excited just to see him, came on the 65th minute, so that's what I'll be looking for. Okay, let's take a look at some of the first half stats brought to you by GRTC.
Some telling facts there. Lots of shots for both teams, 8 for the Kickers, 5 for Charlotte, but Charlotte only able to put 1 on frame. I'm not sure if the penalty counts as the 1 on frame, so maybe 2 overall, but Charlotte able to convert their chances better than the Kickers. And then I think the other key one there would be fouls. 9 fouls total in that first half, 5 for the Kickers, 4 for Charlotte. No bookings so far. I think we might see 1 or 2 as the second half rolls on, just because it might get a little bit feistier and a little bit more hotly contested.
The other stat there that stands out to me is corner kicks. Charlotte Independence with 3. That just says that they've put the kickers under a little more pressure. They've spent a little more time in the kickers attacking third. All the kickers' attacks were very much sort of on the counter.
Indeed. And I think for the kickers, they will need to make some adjustments, obviously, to try to get better chances and try to get better, like, high percentage chances. I said to you off air, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them switch to a back 3 because they haven't been very effective at tracking the runs, about maybe getting a little bit too stretched. I think you just double down, bite that bullet, put 3 center backs in the middle to anticipate those crosses, and then make sure your wing backs are drifting back to cover.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Enzo Martinez, Alex Martinez, Estrada, like joining the central attack, coming from a little deeper and wider and coming centrally. So maybe, have 3 centre backs there ready and waiting for them.
We'll see if they do that. I mean, that's it. The kickers don't tend to make big changes at half. We don't usually see substitutions. We don't usually see formation changes. So I think you will probably see them stick with that 4-2-3-1. But I think they might have to try some different things because Charlotte have had the better of the chances and I think the overall better game so far.
I see on the far side Milan Roberts back in his right back spot with Raul Gonzalez ahead of him. It seems at least shape and formation wise the kickers are going to go with exactly what happened in the first half.
The other key thing you're seeing there on your screen, Connor Shinosky having a very animated conversation with the center official. No booking. I think maybe just got a warning there that a few more words might lead to a booking, but I think he's very displeased by that penalty decision.
So we took a look at it during the first half highlights, and we really felt there was just enough contact, right, for it to be awarded. It wasn't nothing, let's put it that way.
It wasn't nothing, and I don't even know if, I think part of what Connor Shinosky is saying here is that I don't think he knew that foot-to-foot contact was occurring. I think he was tracking the ball, so I think he's arguing that it was incidental contact. Referee, I'm guessing, disagreeing since he awarded that penalty.
I think they're literally arguing that right now.
And had been for about the last couple minutes here. For Charlotte, I think
sometimes if you win the argument, they will go back and knock off the penalty kick.
Well, I think in this situation, I understand this moment. You're frustrated.
Yeah.
You don't want to see your team go down. You feel responsible, but you're having a word with the official because you don't feel like you really did anything wrong. For Charlotte in the second half, I'll be interested to see how they mark Chris Durkin. It felt like they got a little more physical on him in the last 10 minutes or so. Felt like they were consistently putting a body on him in those last 10 minutes, and I think it cut down on the opportunities the kickers were able to create. So we'll see if they continue to mark him, track him, shut him down, because he has been sort of the midfield fulcrum, I'm going to say.
Do you think there'll be like one person assigned to him, like Ander Herrera, Eden Hazard style?
I mean, maybe, but it seems like with the way Charlotte play, the way they attack, it's more of making sure that everyone's just kind of passing him off, making sure that he's covered. And then I think if you've got a man free in the middle, instead of him just kind of marking space and cutting out options, maybe he's the one who steps.
Here we go. Second half is underway at City Stadium. It begins with a long Chris Durkin ball out right for Raul Gonzalez to chase, but it's too long. It's out of bounds. It's going to be Yearwood to take the throw.
Signs of intent, though. Chris Durkin booted that ball long, immediately turned and waved the defense forward. I think they've been tasked with getting more aggressive in this first half. I think
pin them in.
You're seeing that here.
You think we'll see more of a kicker's press happening?
I would hope so.
All right, Charlotte go long, which is something we didn't see them forced to do in the first half. Shinosky turns. Gives it to Yudai Amora, who goes back to Matt Turner. Turner goes out left to Troyer, Braden Troyer. Kickers in red, if you're just joining us, going right to left, losing 1-0 to Charlotte Independence. In white, going left to right. Here is Chris Durkin. Davidson stepped in, gave some pressure, but not as fast as we would have expected. Here's Milan Roberts, touches it to Raul Gonzalez.
But that ball right there is exactly why I think Charlotte will want to put him under pressure, because he can change the direction of the attack so quickly and is so accurate with that long ball. If not with his short passes, although it does lead to a throw-in for the kickers.
Which Gonzalez takes quickly down the line. Yudai Mora with a nice lift into the path of Sonny Jane. Sonny Jane turns around, gives it back to Yudai Mora. Mora looks up, crosses to the far post, finds Luis Fernando, good touch. Fernando cuts back across, goes down. I think he's going to get a yellow for simulation.
He is indeed, and I think we all saw that one coming, left that leg behind. I think realized that maybe he'd had too heavy of a touch, maybe felt a little bit of contact there.
I felt like he could have kept going for the ball.
I think he could have. I think, again, maybe he just felt like he'd taken it too far away. Maybe he thought he was going to lose that foot race, so he went down, and he will be booked for it. First booking of the game goes to Luis Fernando for that
Thing is,
dive.
if you're going to do it, you've got to do it well.
And indeed, as we see Mazel there calling for the ball, looked like he was talking to the camera. And yeah, that's absolutely a dive there. No contact at all. Luis Fernando tries to leave his foot behind, maybe anticipating contact. No contact comes, but he goes down anyway. Kickers fans might feel hard done by that one, but from our vantage point from those replays, no contact and a correct decision.
We did not need video assistant referees to decide that was simulation. Chris Durkin gives it to Imura. Shinosky to Yambi. Yombi drives forward. Here goes William Yombi. Gives it to Braden Troyer. Troyer tries to force it down the line. Estrada blocks his path. Sonny Jane with the ball now. Jane out left. It's cleared Alex Martinez and it's landed with Milan Roberts. Roberts into Durkin. Good touch from Durkin and he turns. Chris Durkin, step over. Ball out wide to Milan Roberts. Here we see the overlapping fullback Milan Roberts and he crosses to the far post. Joel Johnson got ahead to it. It's going to be a Richmond Kickers corner kick. Not the best of balls from Milan Roberts, but it ended up being dangerous.
And I think we are, again, we're seeing more aggressive approach from the kickers in this second half. Milan Roberts even further forward there than we saw him in all of the first half and trying to get that ball in. I think the kickers are really going to try to go for it, try to make something happen.
You're going to see him by a corner flag before the day is out. Or in the area. They may send him right into the box like they did at the end of last week.
I think we're seeing him in the area right now as the corner kick comes in.
Fernando, it goes low. It is cleared by Herrera. Collected by Braden Troyer. Troyer goes wide. Here's Jane. Jane crosses. Grant, I think, got ahead to it. It comes out. Raul Gonzalez shoots from distance. Cleared out by Davidson. Now Jane quickly into the feet of Durkin. Durkin looks up, shoots from distance. Punched away by Mizell. I think Mizell was just making sure that he didn't make any mistakes with that.
I think so, but really good play there from Chris Durkin. Spotted that he had the opportunity, took those 2 touches to create space, gets that shot off, and now it's a good ball into the box, collected by Luis Fernando at the far post.
Luis Fernando has it on this left wing here. He does his classic rollover and a cutback. Very nice, but good tackle from Joel Johnson. Now Braden Troyer collects. Kickers putting Charlotte Independence under real pressure here at the start of the first half. Troyer goes left to Yudai Mora. He's got Luis Fernando with him. Gives it to him. Here's Luis Fernando with a bit of space. Crosses low. Cleared by Russ. Cleared again by Johnson. To the top of the box. Anthony Grant collects. Gives it to Luis Fernando. Luis Fernando goes back to Braden Troyer. Takes one touch with his right foot. Crosses to the far post. Looking for Jane. It's over the head of Jane and Yearwood. It's out for a goal kick. But encouraging stuff from the Richmond Kickers, Taylor.
Indeed.
They're playing like it's the last 10 minutes, but there's a whole half to go.
I think the kickers doing better there, getting better combinations, better sequences. They're not forcing it as much, not so desperate to take shots from low percentage situations. Instead, picking their chances there. I think Braden Troyer saw the man to the back post, hit it, and then I think realized it was Sonny Jane, who is not the largest man on the field, but might be one of the smallest.
Here's Mizell to take their goal kick. Let's see if kickers can keep this tempo high. Mizell goes long this time. William Yombi has to drop. The ball goes over his head. Herrera's going to give chase, but it's going to go all the way through to Turner. I think Mizell surprised the kickers with the length of that kick.
He's just holding back in the first half.
Yeah.
Wants to stretch it in the second.
Now here's Chris Durkin. Milan Roberts.
2 kickers.
Square ball picked off by Estrada. Estrada plays it straight into the path of Herrera. Herrera from distance goes for the bottom left corner. He's dragged it just wide, but that was sloppy from the kickers and they got lucky to not concede there.
More sloppy play from the kickers in transitioning from defense to attack, really having a hard time with it, and I think for that reason we are going to see changes before too long. It looks like both Fred Owusu-Sekiri and Frank Teyu have been called over to the bench, getting those final instructions, and I think we'll see them in the next couple minutes.
You know I'm a big fan of battling Fred.
I know, buddy.
Ball long from Turner for Grant to challenge. One in the air by Kalungi. Gonzalez collects and throws it. Anthony Grant to hold it up. Grant lays it off to Jane. Jane to Roberts. Roberts into Chris Durkin. Now here comes Chris Durkin. Durkin into the box for Luis Fernando. Still has it. Luis Fernando leaves it for Durkin. One more touch. Shot from Luis Fernando. Saved. It is just wide. Great save from Mizell.
Such good work there between Chris Durkin and Luis Fernando. Really good interplay, really good disguised passes. Luis Fernando finds himself in space, but I think just can't quite put it the way he would have liked. And it's a brilliant save by Cody Mizell there to deny the Brazilian.
Let's see the 2 teenagers combine again. Really good, quick touch and turn and shot from Luis Fernando. Good reactions from Mizell.
Smart decision making from Chris Durkin as well. Looked like he was going to have a shot, instead finds his open man. But instead it's saved, another corner comes in, and it's cleared low.
Cleared by Herrera, but it's going to be collected by Yudai Imura. Imura gives it back to Troyer. Troyer goes long and direct. Yombi and Shinosky are both up there. Shinosky flicks it on. Headed out. Cleared by Davidson. Troyer up against Martinez. Yudai Imura lifted up in the air. But here's a chance for Charlotte. Martinez plays it to his brother Alex Martinez. Plays it ahead to Estrada. Braden Troyer gets there in the corner. He's going to try and shepherd this out. He did lean in, but the referee's pointing to the goal kick.
Fans stay up
leniency.
Fans stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC, channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XMFC will air USL Game of the Week. Please check USL Soccer for dates and times.
It's going to be Matt Turner to take their goal kick. He was either waving people forward or fanning himself just to cool off, but the ball has been kicked long. One in the air by Charlotte. Good win from Ross, but it's going to be a kicker's throw-in.
Tayu and Owusu Sekiri now ready to come on. It looks like we will see these substitutions. Looks like it's going to be Luis Fernando making way with Owusu Sekiri coming off and Anthony Grant coming off, replaced by Frank Tayu. These substitutions presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So Frank Tayu, who scored that late equaliser last week, I'm excited to see him. The fans here at City Stadium will be excited to see him. Battling Fred, I'm always excited to see number 4, Freddie Owusu-Sekiri. But Luis Fernando was just starting to have an influence on this game, even with that bit of simulation.
He was, and I think that's why you're seeing the kickers' coaches have an extra word with him. Anthony Grant gets a high five. Luis Fernando gets some extra words, I think, because he was growing into it. Seems like maybe it was a planned substitution.
And once again, some good hard work from Anthony Grant, but once again, he missed a couple of key opportunities.
He did. And I do think that he wasn't maybe doing exactly the game plan the kickers wanted. He wasn't staying as high. He wasn't putting Charlotte under pressure. I think we will see Frank Tayu stay high, stay on that last man, try to create something.
So you got a good look at him last week. Apart from scoring the equaliser, what else did Frank Tayu do? So what can we expect to see from him here?
I think you can expect to see him try to link up with a running, with a midfielder running through. And more on that in just a second because we have Charlotte breaking now.
Milan Roberts saw that and cut it out though. But here goes Raul Gonzalez. We've got an end-to-end game here. Sonny Jane, good first-time touch to Fred Owusu-Sekiri. His first play here. Owusu-Sekiri is a through ball to Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez is going to get there. He slides. He couldn't quite keep it in. Decent break from the kickers though.
So didn't quite get there then, I guess, in the end. Yeah, I think what you're going to see from Frank Tayu is either turning and shooting, not short of confidence, the man who I think consistently refers to himself as the best player in the world. I think he's not short of confidence, as I said.
If you're looking for him on Twitter, it's King Tayu.
There it is. You see a replay here of that interplay for the Richmond kickers. But I think what you'll see is either he'll turn, try to shoot from distance, shoot whenever he can, but he does also like those 1- and 2-touch link-ups where he'll kill the ball dead for the midfielder running through to try to shoot or try to combine at the top of the box.
And again, if you're just joining us, Frank Tayu is an indoor soccer player. He's on the US futsal national team, so you can expect a few little, I want to call them weird little unexpected tricks, which may be what the kickers need.
His preferred one seems to be to let it roll through, hit it with his plant leg, and then basically, so if it's coming to his right foot, he hits it off the instep right foot planted, and it goes over to his left side.
And here he is with the ball. Frank Tayu holds it up, foot on top of the ball like a good futsal player. He goes back to Connor Shinosky. Shinosky outright to Milan Roberts. Roberts to Sonny Jane. Jane exchanges passes with Yudai Amura, trying to find Durkin. It's cut out. Kickers get it back. Good work from Jane. He has Troya out left and he finds him. A perfect ball to Braden Troya. Braden Troya one time to Fred Owusu-Sekiri. Owusu-Sekiri keeps it in. Tried to turn. I think he won a corner kick. He did not. Referee points to the 6-yard box. I think that ball came off of Duckett.
I think it came off of Duckett, then came back off of Owusu-Sekiri, and now he is up, walking with an injury.
Looks like Owusu-Sekiri's limping. That may be a dead leg. I can see the limp slowly fading as he gets towards midfield.
I think as you can see here, it does come off of him, but I think it's basically that he stretches trying to keep that ball inbound, trying to fight for it, and I think maybe just extends himself a little bit too much.
So we'll keep an eye on Fred Owusu-Sekiri to see if he can continue.
Still looks to be in a lot of discomfort there, which is definitely troubling given that he just subbed on.
Durkin fouled as he turned by Estrada. Wins the ball, gets it back to Braden Troya. How's Freddie Owusu-Sekiri doing, Tyler? You got eyes on him?
Less limping. Seems to be walking without too much difficulty, so I'm guessing he'll be good to go.
And Matt Turner goes long, but I think he's hooked that out of bounds or sliced it. I can't remember which way it goes. I don't play golf. Throw taken quickly. Ends. Alex Martinez, gives it to Davidson. Davidson goes outright to Joel Johnson, who we've been very impressed with. Johnson to Estrada and then makes a run and gets it back. Johnson is in behind. Joel Johnson crosses, header, from Enzo Martinez. It has beaten Matt Turner into the left side netting. It is 2-0 Charlotte Independence.
Really good directional header there from Enzo Martinez, but even better ball from Joel Johnson. Gets to the end line, puts it back, and does that low-driven ball that basically all you have to do is just let it glance off your forehead, and it's always going to go side netting. That's exactly what Enzo Martinez does. That's exactly what that ball does.
For me, it's all about the 1-2 that sends Johnson away. And here he is in that space in the area. That ball took a little bounce just before he hit it as well, but he compensated for it, landed it on the head of Enzo Martinez.
He sure did. That is an inch-perfect ball. Braden Troyer beaten there for pace, and then it's a lovely header. Enzo Martinez does really well. You can see he picks his spot, knows exactly where he wants to hit it, does just that, and it's 2-0 to Charlotte here at City Stadium.
So you can say, correct me if I'm wrong here, you can say kickers should do a better job of marking Enzo Martinez, but I think that 1-2 down the line is really where it happens, because then everybody's scrambling, everybody's panicking, and that's why Charlotte Independence are leading the Richmond Kickers 2-0 at City Stadium.
And frankly, it's why I said I think the Kickers should have changed things up and maybe gone to that back three and then have those two wing backs, because if you're going to get beat there anyway, at least you get more bodies in the box to cut out those balls in.
All to do for the Richmond Kickers then, about 33 minutes to go. Here's Frederic Sakiri, chips it forward, looking for Gonzalez. He loses out in the air, Estrada collects. Estrada couldn't go around Frederic Sakiri, brings it forward. Sakiri looking for the pass, swings it out right. Milan Roberts was advancing, didn't quite have the touch he needed to take it forward. Now here comes Charlotte in that space that Milan Roberts has vacated. It's Herrera into Davidson. Roberts knocked Davidson down from the back. It's a Charlotte free kick.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there. Good decision by the referee. Now we're back under play. Herrera on the ball for Charlotte, looking for some help. Instead has about 8 Kickers players in front of him.
Now it's Estrada. Estrada couldn't control that, but it's too slow to go out of bounds, so he gets lucky. Estrada still has it, gives it to Johnson. This is where the goal started last time. Johnson and Estrada. Goes to Ross. Goes to Kalungi.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Now Ross to Davidson. To Alex Martinez. Now Enzo Martinez, who I've just realised took the penalty kick. He has 2 goals today.
He sure does. And I'm sure he'll be looking for a third.
And I believe that makes him Charlotte's top scorer this year.
Indeed. I think he was already joint top scorer
so
along
he'll have
with
6,
Herrera.
right? He'll have 6 now. Herrera has 4. He is top scorer. Sonny Jane, left-footed, over the top. Dealt with by Yearwood. I think the chest, so Mizell can pick it up if he wants to.
And I think we'll take all the time he can to do that. And good pressure there from Frank Teyu to just make him play it a little bit faster.
If you're Frank Teyu, that's all you can do, right?
Yep.
You just got to make him pick it up and get on with it. And then tell him to kick it.
I mean, theoretically, you're supposed to have 6 seconds from the time you pick it up. I think that's what he was maybe gesturing, is that it felt like a little bit longer than that had gone.
Jane to Chris Durkin. Durkin flicks it over the head and fights for it, but gives away a free kick. He fought a little too hard. He pulled Estrada down.
Yeah, I think it was 2 hands on either shoulder and the pullback. That's always probably going to be a foul. And again, always going to be a foul when the referee is 5 yards away.
Yearwood goes back to Davidson. To Alex Martinez. To Henry Kalungi. Kalungi out right to Duckett. Ross to Davidson. Charlotte pretty happy to knock this ball around. There's no pressure for them to get forward right now. So Yearwood can come back under pressure from Raul Gonzalez.
Good fight there from Raul Gonzalez. At a time when I was about to say it just looks like a little bit of the spring has gone out of the step of the Kickers. Gonzalez still fighting, but it just feels like that energy has dipped a little bit after that second goal. I think the Kickers are really going to have to fight and really kind of find another gear here if they can hope to pull anything back. Teyu
leading the charge with some pressure here. Puts the keeper under pressure. Mizell kicks. Troyer's head. Troyer heads it down but can't find Sakiri. It's Joel Johnson who drags it back and gives it to Duckett. He gives it to Ross. Ross turns. Goes left. Good ball for Alex Martinez. Martinez up against Milan Roberts. One times it into the path of Herrera. Herrera tackled by Imura but collected by Estrada. Estrada finds Enzo Martinez. Slide tackle block from William Yambi.
Really good block from Yambi, but once again, a sloppy touch from Udai Imura leads to that opportunity for Charlotte. He doesn't get a good contact on the ball, doesn't get it clear. Frederic Sakiri does, but actually puts it back into play and puts the Kickers under pressure himself.
That was the one-footed scorpion from Frederic Sakiri, but it was nearly very dangerous. It was nearly a through ball Charlotte players.
Yeah.
Offside not in play there, right?
Indeed.
So if anyone was offside, they would have been through on goal. Ball over the top, Duckett gets there first. Udaimura one times it to Owusu Sakiri. Owusu Sakiri tackled by Joel Johnson. Udaimura to Durkin. Durkin low into Owusu Sakiri, shoots from distance, but it's over.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL.
3 W's?
www. If you like http://www, I think is how it works.
But it's uslsoccer.com. And it's going to be Mizell to take the goal kick. Mizell goes long. Owusu Sakiri wins it in the air. Good win from Owusu Sakiri. Duckett under pressure. Tayu slides in. It's going to be a Charlotte throw-in. But Tayu definitely letting the Charlotte defenders know that he is there.
That's where we are.
And here he is, Frank Tayu. Picks it up. Kalungi steps and clears.
And it's a very good clearance.
It
It looks like it's going to be Martinez on the ball.
One times it to Herrera. Herrera through on goal. The offside flag has not gone up. Shinovsky blocks the cutback and plays it out to Raul Gonzalez. Kickers with a chance to break here.
Really nice touch there from Martinez to find his man. Connor Shinovsky took his eye off the ball to look for offside when it wasn't given. Does well to correct that run, get in between the goal, and block that opportunity.
I'm pretty confident it was offside, but it doesn't matter because here's Braden Troyer on the left side. Troyer into Owusu Sakiri. Owusu Sakiri looking for a pass, finds Durkin. Durkin in low, trying to get the 1-2 with Braden Troyer. The pass wasn't quite back into his path. So here comes Charlotte with Estrada. He goes Estrada, it's 2-on-3. He goes out right to Jorge Herrera. Estrada's continuing that run through the middle. Herrera, the Colombian, comes inside. Dribbles forward very slowly, is able to find Martinez, who puts it ahead. Roberts gets it out. It looks like he played it off for Martinez as well, so it's going to be a Richmond kicker's throw.
Some good defensive work there. It looks like he is getting more comfortable at right back, but now we will see another change for the kickers, and it looks like it will be Udai Umura making way, and I think Finley Wyatt coming on for the Richmond kickers. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So Finley Wyatt normally left back or left winger, or maybe even left wing back. We'll see where he goes.
My initial thought was that maybe Braden Troyer would come central, Finley Wyatt would go to left back, but it looks like instead Finley Wyatt will go to left attacking midfield. Fred Owusu Sakiri will sit in where Udai Umura had previously been playing.
Good turn from Jane. Jane finds Wyatt straight away. Wyatt getting involved straight after coming off the bench. Here he goes, down the left wing. Finley Wyatt. He looks up. Cross is blocked by Joel Johnson, but Finley Wyatt's another one who I really enjoy the service he provides from out wide. His crosses are usually very reliable, very accurate, and have that bit of bend on them.
Very good left foot too, so you know he can get to the end line, play that ball back, but can also cut it back for Braden Troyer, who will be there to play that ball in with the right foot.
Raul Gonzalez is going to take the corner kick for the Richmond kickers. Steps up, bends it into the 6-yard box, cleared, collected by Enzo Martinez, under pressure from Owusu Sakiri. Wyatt heads it back to Owusu Sakiri, who turns away from Enzo Martinez, makes himself some space. Good work from Fred Owusu Sakiri. He looks up, he crosses. Decent chance for the kickers. Sonny Jane shoots from distance. Milan Roberts heads it back to him. Sonny Jane takes it down with Durkin. Durkin to Owusu Sakiri now. Looking for that pass. Owusu Sakiri goes outright to Roberts. Cleared by Alex Martinez. Yombi with time for this header. He finds Fred Owusu Sakiri. Good touch. And out left. Here's Finley Wyatt now. On his left foot. Spaced across if he wants it. He takes it. Long and over from Finley Wyatt. It is out for a goal kick. Did I jinx it?
I think maybe he heard you saying nice things and got a little too excited. Folks, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL.
Here's Cody Mizell with the goal kick. Still Charlotte 2, Richmond kickers 0. We are 2/3 of the way through this game. Owusu Sakiri goes back to Yombi, to Braden Troyer. pass wasn't all it could be from Troyer, but Wusu makes the most of it.
No, worth noting at halftime, I did have a word with Samuel Asante, Richmond Kickers midfielder. He did say the grass is a little bit thick, the ball is moving more slowly than maybe they expected, so maybe that's partially to blame for some of the missed touches as we're seeing here. Chris Durkin now on the ball, maybe as a result.
Here he goes, Chris Durkin looking for the pass. He's found Finley Wyatt in the area. Left-footed, Wyatt cuts it back. Tayu's shot is blocked. Second chance for Durkin. He slices it wide.
I think maybe that ball bobbled a little bit if we're going to try to give Chris Durkin the benefit of the doubt, but a missed kick by Frank Tayu and then a missed kick by Chris Durkin, who will very much want that one back. You can see the frustration on his face.
I think Tayu got the shot away, but it was blocked. Either way, good ball from Durkin and great cutback from Finley Wyatt. I can't tell on the replay.
But definitely a bit of a bobble there. I think Chris Durkin maybe thought he was catching it just on the bounce, instead catches it just after the bounce. It's got a little bit of a weird spin, and that's where that missed kick comes from.
Goal kick goes straight out of bounds. The kicker's going to get another chance to attack, maybe sooner than they expected. Here's Braden Troyer to Yumbi.
Mizell does have that shutout, but his service this evening has been a little bit erratic. Sometimes that goal kick goes long, sometimes it's a little bit short, sometimes it's out of bounds.
Yeah, sometimes it's a throw-in his own half. Yearwood, Ned Davidson to Ross. First time to duck it to Kalungi.
That said, I believe last week was the first shutout of the season for Mizell. It looks like he's working on his second this evening. Still 2-0 here at City Stadium as we get closer to the 70th minute.
First time ball from Ross goes over the kicker's defence and out left to Enzo Martinez. Sorry, Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez fighting with help from his brother. Here's Enzo Martinez on the ball. Good work from Milan Roberts, but he loses it afterwards. Here's Enzo Martinez. Still has it. Hurdles the slide tackle. Still has the ball. Can't get around Fred Owusu-Sikiri. Fred plays it down the line for Tayu to chase.
I think Frank Tayu is doing exactly what Anthony Grant was not doing. He is staying high. He is trying to make sure the center backs stay back. The issue you're seeing, though, is with the kickers collapsing back in defense, there's a good 30 to 40 yards between him and anyone who can support. So it might be a frustrating evening for Frank Tayu unless the kickers can get a few more bodies around him.
And you're seeing the kickers running hard. You just saw Durkin run like 40 yards to try and close down. But Charlotte are just stroking the ball around, making the kickers run. Here's Ross under pressure from Tayu. Gives it to Davidson, to Yearwood. Back to Davidson. And a square ball to Duckett. Tayu gives chase. After Kalungi, Kalungi goes back to Mizell. This time Mizell's going to go long. Troyer to challenge. He gets ahead to it. Kickers maintain possession. Durkin, Wyatt to Troyer again. Braden Troyer into Owusu-Sikiri. He lets it run. Gets the pass away. I'm hoping that was a trick pass, but I think it was an accident. Durkin, wide right to Milan Roberts. Roberts looks up. Plays it ahead of Raul Gonzalez, who gets there. Gonzalez crosses. It's going to stay inbounds with Braden Troyer on this left side. Troyer looks up. He's got room to cross. He goes low. Couldn't find Chris Durkin. Joel Johnson cuts it out. Yombi serves it back to Finley Wyatt. Finley Wyatt, left-footed. Goes out to Braden Troyer. Troyer cuts it back to him. Wyatt crosses. Diving header was missed. Ball goes across the face of the box. Alex Martinez evades the entire kickers midfield. But his pass is loose. Connor Shinosky picks it up.
But instead we are going to have a free kick for Charlotte. Looked like after that ball had gone, maybe Gonzalez makes some contact there. Free kick for Charlotte, and Fred Owusu-Sikiri has a word, as he is wont to do.
He does like to discuss the decisions afterwards.
Discuss is one word.
But the ball's back in play. Here comes Duckett. Into Ross.
Owusu-Sikiri is still having words with the center referee.
Yeah, he's better off maybe going and joining the kickers' defensive effort.
Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe learn a lesson from Enzo Martinez.
Here's Callum Ross to Davidson.
Dribbles
into midfield for Enzo Martinez.
Dribbles completed speak louder than words. That's what I've always said.
It's the well-known saying. Speaking of, here is Enzo Martinez dribbling forward. Herrera makes the run ahead of him, but he puts it out left to Alex Martinez, who collects it. He's up against Milan Roberts. Alex Martinez into Enzo Martinez, up against Shinosky, goes around him. Goes a little too far. Turner was off his line and out wide quickly to close that down.
But
it's going to be a corner kick.
But Enzo Martinez forces that corner. Matt Turner does really well to be off his line quickly, and I think is feeling it. I think he didn't block the ball out, but did block it with his ribs, and so he's down a little bit of a stretch there as Charlotte take the corner kick. I'm going to replay here. Good work from Martinez again. And again, Turner off his line well to block that one out.
Because that cut back to Herrera was on.
It was. We'll see what Charlotte do here if they just try to play short. Instead, they drive it all the way back.
And then serving in low, Enzo Martinez with a bit of space in the box. Nice stick tackle from Milan Roberts. Sakiri plays it to Frank Toyu. That's a good ball. Toyu one-times it into the path of Wyatt, who tries to get it back to him. Toyu's going to be able to chase it down this left flank. Toyu up against Duckett. Toyu goes back to Braden Troyer. Troyer square to Durkin. Durkin outright. Here's Frederic Sakiri. Top of the box, Frederic Sakiri. Swerves this way and that. Tried to find Frank Toyu. He could not. Joel Johnson now clears it. Jorge Herrera collects and turns on his chest.
Still a little bit of sloppiness from the Richmond kickers in possession and attacking positions. Can't find those through balls, can't find balls to feet, and instead it's Charlotte now who possess and get the ball forward.
And nearly found a through ball. Yombi did well to step and cut that out. Looks like Owusu Sakiri and Herrera had it coming together.
Referee gave the free kick. Kickers take it quickly, and Sonny Jane now on the ball.
Kickers could really use a goal right now to make this last 15 minutes a time where they can put Charlotte under pressure.
Indeed, it does still feel like the energy has gone out of the teams just a little bit. I think Charlotte content to sit back and let the kickers have possession. The kickers really aren't doing that much with it.
It's the crowd as well. You're not hearing that roar when the kickers get the ball. You're not hearing that roar of expectation as they go forward that you really did for the first 10 minutes of the first half, of the second half. I apologize.
It could be both. And while the kickers possess, we'll say that soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Here's Chris Durkin. Slow build from the kickers. Owusu Sakiri to Sonny Jane. Gives it him back. Here goes Owusu Sakiri. He tried to find Troy out left. Johnson cut it out, then lifted it over the head of Finley Wyatt. Here goes Joel Johnson. Yombi stepped across him. Referee has not called anything. So good defensive work from William Yombi.
It was. I think it's because he stepped across but then continued to track the ball. Didn't just step across and body him off. I think Joel Johnson might feel a little bit hard done by, but I think that was good defensive work there from William Yombi.
Durkin trying to go over the top. Toyu, I think, got ahead to it. Chasing Yearwood into the corner. Yearwood clears out of bounds. Richmond kickers throwing. No, still in bounds, I apologize. Milan Roberts has it. Gives it to Shanoski. Shanoski to Yombi. Yombi back to Shanoski.
And it looks like Charlotte getting set to make a substitution. Looks like midfielder Lewis Hilton will be coming on.
You think Ross or Davidson to take a break? Or maybe one of the attacking midfielders and they shore it up a little bit for the last 10 minutes?
That would be my guess, yeah, one of your attackers.
Here's Finley Wyatt, squares it to Fred. Frederic Sakiri to Jane. From the top of the box, shot is blocked, bounces up in the air. Kalungi steps through it and gets it out for a throw-in. I think the substitution is going to happen based on the position of the referee's arm.
It will, and it looks like it's going to be Enzo Martinez coming off. Enzo Martinez coming off, Lewis Hilton coming on. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So kickers probably will be happy to see the back of Enzo Martinez and not in the way that they've normally seen his back, which is when he's gone past the men they're trying to chase him. But it's going to be tougher for them to have Lewis Hilton in there. It's going to be an extra sort of more defensive midfielder, I think, plugging up that midfield.
I'm surprised by that decision, though, I have to say. It seemed like Enzo Martinez was good to go, wasn't on no card risk, and was coming back from that suspension, meaning that it seems like his legs should have been a little bit fresher.
And here's Estrada, has just stepped and won the ball. Estrada to Herrera, Yombi takes it off him. William Yombi now. Plays it low to Gonzalez, Raul Gonzalez. Gets away from Alex Martinez down the line. Gets away from Yearwood down the line. Gonzalez crosses. It's going to go back post to Finley Wyatt. Wyatt takes on his left foot, turns around, gives it to Braden Troyer. Troyer looks up, goes square. Here's Chris Durkin from distance. Chris Durkin. Bit of a swerve. Keeps dribbling forward, shoots low, it's blocked, it's cleared. Shanoski steps forward. Oh, I thought Shanoski was going to shoot from 48. Here's Finley Wyatt, back to Braden Troyer. Troyer crosses into the box, flicked on, header, saved by Mizell. I think fingertips just around the post.
Did really, really well, Mizell, there to get his feet underneath him so that he can spring off and just get those fingers to the ball, push it out for a corner kick. Lovely work there from the Charlotte goalkeeper.
That's his second really good fingertip save of the day. get one more look at this. It's a great ball from Braden Troyer. It's Milan Roberts at the far post as well.
We know he can get ahead on those.
Corner back in, Frank Tayu with the header, held by Mazel.
I think that might have been William Yambi. Either way, it's a good header, but Mazel does really well to hold.
I confused the yellow of Yambi's armband with the yellow of Tayu's boots.
We got a replay here. Good ball in. One of the better crosses we've seen from the kickers, and it's a nice header from William Yambi right at the goalkeeper. Charlotte now in possession. Charlotte also look to be making another substitution here at the next available opportunity. I think it's going to be David Estrada coming off.
Penalty kick winner, David Estrada. Kickers have used all their substitutions, right? Usikiri, Frank Tayu, Finley Wyatt. Yambi, under a bit of pressure from Hilton, goes back to Turner. Turner to Shinosky. Durkin one times it to Yambi, who first times it out left to Braden Troyer. Troyer to Durkin. Raul Gonzalez called for it. Durkin clipped it over the top, but Yearwood got there. Now Milan Roberts with a nice turn as he collected that into the feet of Jane. Now to Usikiri. Now to Chris Durkin. Comes forward. Troyer tried to get it back into the pass. Durkin gets there. Still gets there. Tackled. Estrada has it. Estrada turns in his own box. That was risky but brave and successful. Yambi steps, gives it to Braden Troyer. Troyer crosses again, looking for Raul Gonzalez. Headed out by Yearwood. Milan Roberts heads it back to Sonny Jane. Kickers still have about 12 minutes here. Here's Fred Owusu-Sikiri. Chipped pass, out left, Braden Troyer. Troyer crosses to the far post. Frank Tayu with the header that time, just wide of the post.
And now we will have a substitution for Charlotte. I thought it was going to be Estrada. It looks like it's actually going to be Jorge Herrera coming off for Charlotte. A good evening there from the striker. A not surprising change, I'll say, as well. He's run his socks off.
He has.
And maybe you want to bring in another player who can do a bit more of defensive work. That said, it looks like it's going to be Jaime Siage coming on, who is a forward, so maybe you just want to get a little fresher legs up top, a little bit of a bigger presence up top to maybe hold the ball up just a bit more and maybe alleviate some pressure because the kickers are starting to find more possession and get the ball wide and get those crosses in.
Siage looks like a slightly bigger target as well.
Yeah.
You could hear Lee Calishaw there saying, I think Freddie Owusu-Sikiri stay high with Sonny. So I think that means he wants Owusu-Sikiri getting farther forward up the field.
Which makes sense because Charlotte seem a bit content to sit back and invite that pressure from the kickers. The kickers haven't done a very good job of stepping with them and making that pressure happen.
Here's Hilton. Exchanges passes with Davidson. Goes back. Tayu is going to chase Kalungi here. Kalungi square to Duckett. Duckett turned, it seemed into trouble. Ball is cleared, but Wyatt has it. Tackled by Estrada. Now Estrada gets it back. David Estrada has done some good work there and has won a free kick for the Charlotte Independents.
Braden Troyer just a little bit too aggressive in that defensive work, a little bit too handsy, if you will, and now it's going to be a free kick. Estrada takes his time getting back to his feet and now on the ball.
It kind of happens, right? Last 10 minutes, you've got to do everything to win the ball back because time is of the essence, but that leads to fouling because you get overly aggressive.
Which isn't something you usually hear from Braden Troyer. Braden Troyer usually pretty good, pretty calm and resolute in his defending, but is definitely all action now as we see him more in midfield position than in his left back spot.
Now Durkin redirected it out to Raul Gonzalez. He's lost the ball. Hilton lays it off to Davidson. Davidson not in any rush to do anything. Yearwood low, one-time pass from Hilton that was really good. A lot of good one-touch passing today from Charlotte Independents. Hilton set Siage away, but the flag is up.
It's very close there, Siage, maybe just a half step offside. Meanwhile, it looks like the kickers maybe have changed up the formation just a little bit. It looks like they've gone to a back three with Braden Troyer coming inside, maybe Finley Wyatt and Raul Gonzalez as your wing backs. That said, it looks like Milan Roberts is still very far on that right-hand side, so maybe it's just that the kickers are backing Finley Wyatt to do a left wing back job.
He's got that whole flank to himself.
Pretty much.
It's going to be a kicker's throw with 8 and a bit minutes to go, plus added time. Raul Gonzalez with the throw. Long run up by the looks of this. And a pretty big throw. It's into the 6-yard box. Flicked on. Mizell got his fist to it, cleared it. Kicker send it right back though. Here's Fred Owusu-Sikiri. Shoots from distance. Wasn't far away.
Looks like somebody got a touch there, a bit of a deflection, and it will be a corner kick for the kickers. Owusu Sekire across quickly to get that free kick. Excuse me, to take that corner.
He's going to take it very quickly because we're in the last 8 minutes or so. See the punch there. Owusu Sekire takes the corner kick. It's to Finley Wyatt. Wyatt, left-footed, crosses it in. Confusion in the box. Shot from Milan Roberts. Tayu flicks it back across. Couldn't find anyone. I think he was just hoping it would land on someone's head at that far post.
Yearwood does well under pressure to get a foot to it to get it clear. I think that was Yearwood, might have been Duckett.
It looks like a free kick to the Richmond Kickers on that far side now. Taken quickly once again. Finley Wyatt has it. Wyatt with a weird chip into the box. Couldn't find it with Sekiri. Raul Gonzalez rescues it though. Raul Gonzalez out to Sekiri. Cuts back, crosses left-footed, but it's too close to the keeper. Mazel takes it, goes down. He's going to waste a good few seconds on the floor.
Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Richmond Kickers have about 7 minutes to find 2 goals. Here's William Yumby for the Kickers. Charlotte Independents have 7 minutes to concede 1 goal maximum for a successful evening. A defeat here, or just the lack of a victory here, would extend the Kickers' winless streak in USL to 10 games. But here's Owusu Sekire. Owusu Sekire twists and turns and crosses. And I think shoots. I think he was going for that top corner. He was under a lot of pressure, getting pulled this way and that.
I think Henry Kalungi's pretty lucky he doesn't get a card there. Was a little bit of contact, then turned to Owusu Sekire, then got a hand to that jersey. You could see a little bit of the tug there. You could see it from here. I think the referee thought there might be advantage, allowed play to continue, and maybe got that one a little bit wrong.
I have a personal theory that the players who argue with the refs the most get the least calls.
I think so. I mean, and I think there's you have this idea in your head if you're the player who's arguing that maybe you're getting in the referee's head a little bit, you're forcing him. Yeah, you're hoping that maybe they'll be a little bit more sympathetic, but instead I think it hardens them. Yeah. Especially if you're caught diving. If you're caught diving as Luis Fernando was, I think that always stays in the referee's mind. So later on in the game, if it is a little bit questionable, maybe he's less inclined to give it.
Here's Raul Gonzalez for the Kickers.
So that's a lesson. Don't dive and don't talk.
William Yumby out to Finley Wyatt. Left-footed cross to the far post. Looking for Sonny Jane, who heads it back across. Mizell collects.
I think he tried to head it back across, was looking for the head of Frank Teyu, but didn't quite get the direction he wanted on it. Instead puts it into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Mizell rolls it out to Joel Johnson.
But good positioning there from Cody Mazel, because if he had gambled and tried to guess on that ball back across and come off his line, that might actually have been problematic. But instead he stayed home, stayed rooted, and took that ball cleanly.
Hilton under pressure from Troyer. I've been impressed with Hilton since he's come on.
I think he's doing exactly what was asked of him, which is hold it up, don't give the ball away, play smart. We have a bit of an altercation here, and it will be a booking for Chris Durkin. Lee Calishaw not pleased, but Chris Durkin, I think that's a little bit for the tackle itself, but a little bit for coming over the ball. Maybe referee just thought it was a little bit dangerous.
It was a heavy tackle, but he's been one of the most competitive Richmond Kickers players.
I'm going to replay that here. Looks like Martinez and Lee Calishaw having words on the sidelines there. Excuse me, not Calishaw, but one of the Richmond Kickers' assistant coaches. Yeah, I think Durkin just booked for, maybe that's a combination of things, since he has been a little bit aggressive in this game. Maybe that's just trying to calm him down. Meanwhile, we will have another substitution for Charlotte. This time it will be David Estrada coming off.
What I saw there was Durkin sort of making a tackle, but then accidentally rolling over the top of the ball. He's having words with Alex Martinez. Good work from his Kickers teammates to get him away from him.
And that change will be David Estrada coming off. It looks like number 9, Casey Townsend, coming on. This substitution presented by Elephant Auto Insurance.
So Townsend has gone and joined Siage. So there's 2 strikers up there for Charlotte right now. It's an interesting gambit from Mike Jeffries.
It is. I think they only had 1 defender on the bench, so maybe it's more substitution of necessity.
Yumby wins it, gives it to Wyatt. Durkin tried to find Owusu Sekire. Duckett was there. Durkin again with the header. Kalungi. Now duck it into midfield. Good step from Milan Roberts. Tayu has won his team a throw-in over on that right side. And Tayu's going to take it. He gives it to Sonny Jane. He gets it back. Frank Tayu out to Gonzalez. Now Durkin. Can't get around Hilton. Shinosky now for the kickers. It has to happen now for the kickers. Time is running out. Wyatt down the line to Owusu Sikiri. Owusu Sikiri tries to turn. He does. He gets out of trouble. Goes down, wins the free kick. Richmond kickers have a free kick on the left-hand side of the penalty area. A couple minutes to go here.
About 20, 21 yards. It looks like it will be Owusu Sikiri to take it, although Finley Wyatt now over, standing on the ball as well.
It's the classic left footer, right footer.
Your big man in the box at the far post. I'm guessing this one will result in a shot, regardless of whoever takes it. That said, it is always difficult to get it up and down from this distance, so maybe you do look for a little chip ball to the back post.
Let's find out. Owusu shoots, goes for top left corner. It wasn't too far away, but it wasn't on target.
I'd say it was about a yard wide and maybe a foot over.
They don't give goals for that.
They do not.
It's going to be Cody Mazel in no rush to take this goal kick. He decided the right-hand side of the 6-yard box is where he wants this, not the left-hand side. I'm not criticising, that's exactly what I would do too.
And that's exactly what most goalkeepers would do in this situation.
Cody Mazel, who's been very impressive tonight for my money. Kicks long. Do you want to talk unofficial man of the match presented by Davlin Taylor?
I mean, we can, but I think it's a pretty obvious
Siage
answer.
is away. Siage is behind Connor Shinosky. Siage shoots, drags it just wide.
I think he thought he had that one, was ready to celebrate, did the little skip jump, but instead it goes just wide. Good work from Siage. They're able to turn the kicker's defense.
So Siage is out of man of the match running.
I mean, I appreciate that you're trying to build drama, but the answer here is Enzo Martinez. Has looked deadly all night, is now off the field, but did get both those goals. One from the spot, one from open play. Really good work from Enzo Martinez. Looked consistently threatening for Charlotte.
How about Joel Johnson?
Also very, very good. Did not score 2 goals.
He did have the assist for that Enzo Martinez second goal. For the Richmond kickers, who have you been most impressed by? Because my answer is Chris Durkin.
Yeah, that's also my answer as well. William Yambi has looked a little bit better in terms of his positioning, in terms of his ball playing, but I think it's got to be Chris Durkin if you're looking for a kicker's player of the game.
And Johnson with a good defensive header, man of the match quality defensive header there. Johnson then clears it over the top. Yambi gets there. Decent work in the middle from Ross, finds Siage. Siage to Davidson. Hilton. Hilton literally hasn't put a foot wrong. I stand by that. Here's Yearwood, out left.
If he falls over now, you're going to regret that one.
Alex Martinez.
3 minutes of stoppage time.
Alex Martinez on the left.
Fourth official indicates 3 minutes of stoppage time. 3 minutes for the kickers to get 2 goals. 3 minutes for Charlotte to not let that happen.
Martinez is going to leave this throw-in for Yearwood. Plays it short, gets it back. Yearwood in the corner. I think that's where it's going to go, and it's where it might stay for as long as Yearwood can make it happen. Yearwood tackled, but it's going to be a Charlotte throw-in. Charlotte doing a very good job of running this clock now.
They are. I'll say the Red Army, the Richmond Kicker supporters group, doing their own good job of trying to keep the energy alive, keep hope alive as well. Flags still waving, chants still being sung. But credit to the Charlotte supporters as well. There's about 10 to 15 of them down there in their away jerseys, just off camera in this shot. Now you can see them on the left side of your screen. They've been vocal throughout this game. You saw Enzo Martinez go and celebrate with them after his second goal, his man of the match winning goal, I'll say.
How far is it from Richmond to Charlotte? 4 hours, 5 hours?
I'm not sure. Like I would say 3.5 if you were to put me on the spot. So dedicated fans and dedicated fans there on your screen. Flags going. The Red Army still vocal in their support, but you have to believe a little bit frustrated by the lack of results in these last 10 games?
Yeah, 10 games, 11 if you include the US Open Cup. It goes back. I took a look back at the records. April 22nd was their last Kickers win against Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah, and when you were gone last week, Matthew Delicott, Richmond Kickers, I called him legendary striker, was here with me. He was he was making the point that with the way the system works, with the way the conference system works, that you're never that far away from making the playoffs. True. But with that said, you have to call this a disappointing season for the Richmond Kickers, who consistently challenge either for the playoffs or for the top of the table. This year, looking on the opposite side, we'll see what they can do to right their season, because it does seem like things are slipping away, at least in this game.
We are more or less halfway through the season, right? So there's still a whole extra half of the season to go.
This is true. But this is the time when you start to get those runs where we've seen them do it in the past, where they go on those kind of 6 and 7 game unbeaten runs, right the ship a little bit, find some consistency. You still don't really see those signs so far.
After this, you have 3 away games for the Richmond Kickers. I think the next game at home will be the game against Swansea City.
And I think with that in mind, with those 3 road games coming up, that draw against Tampa Bay, I think they would have been pleased with that. The Kickers, I think they probably would have hoped to get the result here, so you come away with 4 points from those 2 home games before you go on the road. Now they're going to have to make something happen.
Joel Johnson with a loose header, not man of the match stuff, but then the clearance, he gets rid. Shanoski steps, gives it to Braden Troyer. Good step and through ball, almost cut out by Roberts, who plays it out left. Referee blows the whistle for full time. It is Richmond Kickers 0, Charlotte Independents 2 in the USL Eastern Conference. Good win for the Charlotte Independents.
Good win for the Charlotte Independents. Excellent attacking play from the Charlotte Independents, but a frustrating evening for the Richmond Kickers and their head coach, Lee Calishaw. Does give a handshake to his opposite number, but I think will be avoiding the officials. He'll be frustrated by that first half penalty that really kind of killed off the momentum heading into halftime. And I think he'll be displeased overall by some of the missed opportunities and maybe just a little bit of the sloppiness, a little bit of the lack of sharpness that we tend to see from some of the Kickers players on display tonight.
I'm going to ask you afterwards about, are we blaming the penalty kick or is it Richmond Kickers' performance? But we're going to take a short break and we'll talk about that on the other side.
Hey, congratulations, guys. You know you guys all get one, right?
CBS 6 This Morning, Emmy winner for Morning Newscast.
Elephant Auto Insurance presents Richmond Landmarks with Gene Cox. Built in 1901, Main Street Station has defined Richmond's skyline for over 100 years. One of the oldest train stations in the country, and it still keeps folks on the move. With its national headquarters right here in Richmond, Elephant keeps people on the move without breaking the bank. So log on to elephant.com for a free quote today. It's the most Richmond thing you can do.
I'm gonna leave when I cross the line, standing high above this moment in time. Gonna push through the shine, gonna hold on tonight, 'cause I'm leaving this moment in time.
Choose between 1, 7, and 30-day unlimited ride passes. Pick the pass that's right for you and get ready to connect.
To City Stadium, where the final score, as it says on your screen, is Richmond Kickers 0, Charlotte Independents 2. As we were saying, good win for Charlotte. I'm thinking they are the team that deserves the 3 points here. Agreed?
Absolutely. And I think as we take a look at the first half there, you asked me heading into break if I thought maybe the penalty change thing. I think you have to say it did. You see here, there is that contact up top, but also a little bit of foot contact there. Yep. That's why that penalty is given. You see Enzo Martinez finish. But anytime you get a penalty and a goal that late in the first half, it changes what you're going to do at halftime. And so if you're 0-0, you can adjust a few little things, keep that 0-0 heading into the second half. When you're suddenly 1-0 down, now you've got to change that approach. The notes that you were working on suddenly kind of invalid because of that decision.
So here's what's happened in the second half. Kickers really went out firing early in the second half, including Luis Fernando sort of diving and getting himself a yellow card.
If you want to call that going out firing, sure.
But there was a lot of pressure applied by the Richmond Kickers. Chris Durkin at the heart of a lot of it, especially that shot there that he forced Mizell to punch away.
Indeed, but you see the combination play here from Charlotte. Some good work up top. Herrera there, not able to get his name on the score sheet tonight, but
Always
definitely
dangerous,
threatening the entire game.
Maybe this was the Kickers' best chance of the second half.
Of the second half, certainly.
Turn, yeah, and another good fingertip save from Mizell.
And another great fingertip save
Yep.
there. You can see just how much that first save meant to him, though. The fist pump afterwards, but consistent by Cody Mizell. And now we see the second goal for Charlotte. Great work from Joel Johnson to get down that line to square it back for Enzo Martinez to get his second of the match and man of the match award, in my opinion.
Can we say co-man of the match, Johnson and
Nope.
Martinez?
Enzo Martinez with 2 goals. You are not. Stop trying to make fetch happen, Daryl. It's not going to happen.
But good performance from the Charlotte Independents.
Mhm.
Okay, up next, the Kickers are on a 3-match road trip, I believe you call them, in the United States. That's 3 away games in a row. Saturday, July 1st, they're going to be away to Bethlehem Steel. Sunday, July 9th, away to FC Cincinnati. Saturday, July 15th, away to Harrisburg City Islanders. They'll be back at City Stadium Wednesday, July 19th, when they face Swansea City of the English Premier League. No USL points at stake there, but it could be, a good performance there could energise the Kickers for the rest of the season.
I think it has to. I think you're right that it's the mid-season point, but this is where you have to change things. If you don't start getting the results, you're going to miss out on the playoffs, and it's going to be an unsuccessful season. So I think it's going to be these 3 away games, whereas traditionally you're looking for maybe a point on the road, try to make something there. I think the Kickers are really going to have to go out in search of 3 points here and 3 points there.
So, disappointing night for the Kickers. When they come back 3 or 4 weeks hence, we hope they come back with some points. I've been Darryl Grove, he's been Taylor Rockwell. It is good night from us.